Chapter 444. Baya sat in the VIP lounge of the private hospital, waiting for the test results. Yesterday, when she took them out to play, Aling had been complaining and regretting that she didn't meet the two handsome guys again. She was really worried. After the test results came out today, Mr. Tang would go back to England. Alan looked at Baya and said, "Don't worry, I've already told them. My grandmother and her people won't say a word." Baya nodded and said, "Thank you. I needed your help when I was abroad, and I still need your help now. You don't have to say thank you. I only care about my food." Baya chuckled and said, "I have a cruise ship with a kitchen. I'll invite you to my cruise ship. Won't your grandmother get seasick?" "Yes, she probably won't," Alan said with a smile. The doctor came out with the report. "Dr. Chin, how is it?" Alan asked. Mr. Tang stood up nervously and came to the doctor. The doctor handed the report to Alan and said with a smile, 85% of Miss Wu's chromosomes match with Mr. Tang's. Mr. Tang grabbed the report and looked at the result. He smiled in surprise and looked at Baya. Baya stood up calmly. Mr. Tang rushed over and hugged Baya. "I finally found you. I didn't believe it when I saw you yesterday. I'm so happy that I finally found you." Baya patted Mr. Tang's back calmly. "Let's go back to England with me." "I'll make it up to you," Mr. Tang said, holding Baya's hand. Baya shook her head. Mr. Tang's eyes dimmed and he said worriedly, "Why? You don't want to recognize me?" "No, I'm very happy to find my own family. I know that I have a grandfather, and he has been looking for my mother. For me, it's very important." That was enough. "I hope that no one will know about our relationship. That will cause unnecessary trouble," Baya explained gently. "Why? You're the granddaughter of the Tang family now. I couldn't take good care of you when your mother was wandering outside. Now that I've finally found you, I'll definitely make it up to you. What do you want?" "I will give them all to you," Mr. Tang said sincerely. He was afraid that Baya wouldn't recognize him. "That's the problem. Whatever you give me, your other children and grandchildren will get less, but I don't care about that. I recognize you as my grandfather, and you know that I'm your granddaughter who has been wandering outside. That's good. I'll call you every year and give you a call to give you a lot of money. I said hello to you. This isn't enough. This isn't enough. Lil Wan already has half of everything. You're her only daughter's child and Lil Wan's only heir. This is what you deserve," Mr. Tang said with reddened eyes. Baya had heard from Alan's grandmother that Mr. Tang had always felt guilty towards his first wife because he had married another woman. She had even said that if he hadn't been good when he was alive, what was the use of dying? Dead people wouldn't be able to see. Baya still shook her head. "I don't need it. Thank you. But this is enough. Also, I hope that you won't let anyone know about our relationship. Please." Mr. Tang cried. "If you accept half of my assets, I won't tell anyone." Baya smiled. "If I accept your assets, then I won't be able to explain myself. Moreover, I don't know how to do business. It's not appropriate for you to give it to me. Then give me the money. You must accept it. That way, even if you don't recognize me, I can feel more at ease." Mr. Tang held her hand tightly. "It's not that I don't recognize you," Baya explained. "Xiao Nian, you should accept it. Grandpa Tang is old. This is his sincerity towards me. Letting him fulfill his wish is also my filial piety, right?" Alan said. Baya glanced at Alan. What he said made sense. She didn't want to waste too much energy on this matter. "Thank you, Grandpa." Mr. Tang smiled and patted Baya's hand. "That's right. Alan, I'll have to trouble you to handle this matter. Well, it's not a problem. On the way back, Baya felt more and more uneasy. She looked at Alan, who was sitting next to her. Alan was looking at her. When he met her eyes, he smiled and said softly, "What's wrong?" "Mr. Tang transferred the money to my card. Is it okay in your country? Is he an overseas Chinese or a British resident?" Baya lowered her voice and asked. "He's an overseas Chinese now. He doesn't want to change his nationality. His children are already authentic British. You don't have to worry about the transfer. I know what you're worried about. To put it simply, I have several companies in a country. The market value of some of them is very high. In fact, it's just a bubble economy. I can transfer them to you. You can sell them to him at a higher price. The money will be in your pocket. When the time comes, the tax will go through the normal legal process." Alan explained. Baya roughly understood. She looked out of the window with a heavy heart. "You're not happy," Alan said worriedly. "You're right. At least I can make Mr. Tang feel at ease if I take it. Why not? He can also help me keep it a secret. I'm not feeling emotional because some other things are piling up. I can't lift my spirits," Baya said honestly. "Just tell me if you need my help. No matter how others betray you, I will never do it," Alan promised. Baya smiled. Her smile was faint. Her eyes were filled with melancholy. "Thank you." Alan could tell that she was not happy. "Where's your boat?" "I'll tell my grandmother. We can go there now. It should be good to go fishing on the sea." "Okay, that's a good idea." Baya agreed easily. "Xiao Nian and I want to go to the boat. We might not be back today." Alan made a call and purposely turned on the speaker. "Oh. That's great. Jonah and I want to do something old people like to do. It's not suitable for you young people to follow us. Aling and Michelle have gone shopping again. They're the reincarnation of monkeys. They don't want to follow us. You guys have fun," Grandmother said happily. Baya looked at Alan in surprise. After he hung up, she asked, "Just the two of us? I can sleep at the bow." If Baya refused again, it would seem unreasonable. "That's not necessary. There's a living room." After sending Grandfather Tang back to the hotel, they went to the supermarket to buy some ingredients. They drove for more than an hour to the pier. "Your boat looks pretty good. What made you want to buy a boat?" Alan was pleasantly surprised. Baya smiled. "It was a sudden impulse. Come up and take a look. I'll cook." Chapter 445. Baya's mind flashed with the information that Mr. Gu was Gu Lingqing. She rushed out of the kitchen. It was really Gu Lingqing. He stood in front of her and looked at her with a heavy gaze. He was holding the dog in his hand. Her mood sank again, and her eyes dimmed from surprise. It turned out that he did not come to find her. He should be here to return the dog. "It misses you," Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. "Okay. Put it in the dog pot first. Coincidentally, its kennel is still there. I'll feed it something first." Baya turned to the kitchen to get the dog food. The puppy barked 3 times, as if it was calling her. Baya took the dog food out and brought Gu Lingqing to the kennel on the bow of the boat. Gu Lingqing put the dog in the kennel, and Baya poured the dog food into its bowl. The dog wagged its tail and whimpered. Baya took another bowl to fill it with water. Gu Lingqing did not leave immediately. He patted the dog's head. Alan raised the corner of his mouth. "Mr. Gu, stay and eat with us. Anyway, Baya bought a lot of food. Gu Lingqing did not answer Alan. He looked at Baya who brought the water. Baya could not understand his thoughts. She wanted to save face. She was afraid that if she invited him, he would reject her directly. She did not say anything, but she felt sad in her heart. She lowered her head and put the water box in the kennel. She got up and said to Gu Lingqing, "I'll go to the kitchen to cook." Gu Lingqing did not say anything. She did not know whether he was willing to stay or not. She turned around and went to the kitchen to cook. She listened to the outside, wanting to know if Gu Lingqing had left. If he was not willing to stay, he should leave now. If his voice was heard, it meant that he was willing to stay. Her heart was in a mess. Her mind was not on cutting vegetables. She cut her hand and blood flowed out. He hadn't heard Gu Lingqing speak yet. He was probably a little sad that he had left. Love wasn't just about loving each other. It needed to be managed. If it was managed well, they would love each other for a lifetime. If it wasn't managed well, they would eventually break up. Her personality, Baya examined himself and sighed. "You're always like this. I really shouldn't let you cut vegetables in the future." Gu Lingqing's voice sounded. Baya looked to the right in surprise. It was really Gu Lingqing. He smiled. He glanced at her, held her hand, and washed it with the tap. "Do you have hydrogen peroxide and bandages? There's disinfectant and wound pads. They're in the bedside table," Baya said. She looked at him and smiled. Gu Lingqing let go of her hand. "Do it yourself." "Yes." She turned around. Gu Lingqing held her arm. Baya glanced at him. Gu Lingqing's eyes darkened. "Bring it over. I'll help you paste it." Baya smiled and nodded. She went to the room to get the first aid kit and bumped into Alan. He smiled gently at her. Something came up. "I have to leave first." "Agud, you deserve to be happy." Baya's eyes were a little moist. She understood that he did it on purpose. Although she and Alan hadn't known each other for a long time, he was like an angel. Every time, he would send warmth and help her solve her problems. "Thank you, Alan. You never need to say thank you to me." "All right, hurry up and go in. I'll contact you later." "I'll contact you later." She watched him get off the boat. He turned around and waved at her. He smiled brightly, got into the car and left. Alan was really a good person. He never gave others a burden. He was relaxed and comfortable with others. He was brave, loyal, optimistic, tolerant, and able to pick up and let go. God wouldn't let such a person suffer from a serious illness. Baya watched Alan leave. Then, she went to the room to get the first aid kit. When she reached the kitchen, Gu Lingqing had already cut all the vegetables. Alan said he had something to do, so he left first. Baya said to Gu Lingqing. I'm on vacation these few days. Let's go out to sea together, Gu Lingqing said. Gu Lingqing said as he opened the first aid kit and took out disinfectant and cotton swabs from it. He held her hand, cleaned it, and stuck a bandage on it. Baya looked at his cold and resolute face with infatuation. "Are you done calming down?" Gu Lingqing looked up at her. "What else can I do if I'm not calmed down? I want you to stay away from politics and not get involved in it. You've already become a diplomat. I can't change you, I can only change myself. I don't want anything to happen to you, and I don't want to see anything happen to you. If something really happens to you one day, at least I won't feel guilty and blame myself for sitting and waiting for death," Baya said gently. Gu Lingqing reached out and pulled her into his arms. He hugged her and closed his eyes, quietly feeling the pain in his heart. "I met with Su Jiran yesterday. He told me to be careful of you. He said that you're Shen Yan's man and that you'll soon become a diplomat and enter the cabinet. Baiya, what do you want? What do you want? Baiya looked at him. I want to get rid of those people who hurt me, you, and Xiao Yan. Do you know that? It was Su Zheng who called Leng Shuai and asked him to catch Xia He. It's not that others won't hurt you if you don't hurt them. Your existence itself is a threat to others. I don't ask for much, I just want you to live well. Gu Lingqing looked at Baiya with a burning gaze. I know I can't persuade you. In the future, we'll walk together. If you die, I'll die with you. Baiya punched his shoulder and held back her tears. Didn't we agree to take good care of Xiao Yan? Gu Lingqing held her fist. We'll take care of Xiao Yan together. Also, what I said last time wasn't true. What did I say? I blamed you. I said that you can no longer see the shadow of Baiya in you. I said that you lie, commit crimes, kill, and have no morals, etiquette, and shame. I just don't want you to risk your life again, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice and looked at her with pity. Baiya lowered her eyes and a warm liquid flowed down her face. When I first heard it, I was very sad. But when I woke up, I thought it through. You didn't sleep. You fainted. My men followed you and gave you medicine. I was there the whole time. Then, Shen Yan's men took you away, Gu Lingqing explained. It turned out that he had been there the whole time when she fainted. Baiya hugged his waist and leaned into his embrace. Gu Lingqing, let's not quarrel in the future. We'll work together to survive. I want to give birth to many babies for you. What if we leave this place? I'll put down my career, business, and family responsibilities. I won't be a stumbling block for others. Our family will live a carefree life overseas. I'll find an ordinary job to support you and Xiao Yan, Gu Lingqing said gently. Can I really? Baiya asked Gu Lingqing. Chapter 446. As for killing, it was because he did not want to. Gu Lingqing nodded. Yes, to me, there is no one more important than you and little Yan. What about your parents? After all, you're their only child. Baiya was worried. Bring them along. Be filial to them and enjoy the rest of your life. Gu Lingqing said. That's good. Baiya nodded. By the way. Oh right, I'll cook first. I haven't had lunch yet. I'm a little hungry. Your hand is injured. Rest for a while. I'll cook, Gu Lingqing said softly. This injury is nothing. Even if it's nothing, I'll still rest, Gu Lingqing said. He turned on the gas and added oil. Baiya stood beside him. What about the people from the dark shadows? I've seen them. They're really willing to risk their lives for you. Gu Lingqing added spinach. There was water on the spinach, and it made a loud sizzling sound in the oil. Gu Lingqing stir-fried it a few times. When the sound subsided, he said, I'll make arrangements for them. They're all capable people. Ling Shuang will take good care of them. Ling Shuang. Baiya chewed on the name. He's always wanted you to be the president. No matter how high I climb, when I die, I won't be able to leave anything behind. Even if it's recorded in history, it'll be changed by the people in charge later on. It's hard to say whether it'll be good or bad. I just want to live happily with the person I love for the rest of my life. Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Baiya hugged him from behind. Great minds think alike. It's a pity that I met you so late. Late? I think it's just right. Go and rest for a while. You can play with Little White too. It's tiring to stand, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Let's go to the deserted island for a few days. I'll be in the steering room. We'll catch crabs, fish, and wild boars. Baiyo was looking forward to it. Gu Lingqing smiled. Okay. She went to the steering room and adjusted the latitude and longitude. The boat left the dock and headed for the deserted island. Gu Lingqing was cooking, and Baiyo was lying on the sofa, holding the dog, watching a movie. Soon, the smell of food filled her nose. She paused the TV and went to find Gu Lingqing with the dog. You bought a lot of vegetables, Gu Lingqing said. Baiyo craned his neck to see what Gu Lingqing was doing. There was carp sausage soup, stir-fried spinach, and braised chicken wings on the chopping board. She smiled. 3 dishes are enough for the 2 of us. Gu Lingqing tapped her nose. You must be hungry. Let's eat. The dog also barked 3 times and looked at the braised chicken wings. Baiyo took one and placed it in front of the dog. The dog was biting a braised chicken wing. She put the dog down. Remember to wash your hands, Gu Lingqing reminded. Okay. Baiyo liked his reminder. Human happiness was very simple. As long as they were together and didn't quarrel, she would feel very happy. If they weren't together, even if she was rich, she wouldn't feel happy. After the meal, Gu Lingqing washed the dishes. She put the dog in the kennel. It was time for the dog to sleep. There weren't many bowls, so Gu Lingqing washed them very quickly. Baiyo pointed at the top. It's specially designed for viewing the scenery. You can lie on it and enjoy the sea breeze. They gave me a small sponge that I can stick on it. I just need a pillow and a blanket to lie on. I'll go get the blanket, Gu Lingqing said. I'll go get the pillow, Baiyo said with a smile. They entered the room together. She hugged 2 pillows and Gu Lingqing took the blanket. She walked in front, put the pillows on the floor and lay down. Although the wind wasn't strong today, the boat was still swaying slightly. The sky was very blue, the sun was just right and there were white clouds. Gu Lingqing lay down beside her and covered them with the blanket. She was also looking at the sky, enjoying the peace at this moment. Baiyo turned around and looked at him. She learned from Alan. She didn't say anything that made her uncomfortable. Which country is Xiao Yan in now? Gu Lingqing looked at her. France. He's doing very well now. Don't worry. Children are simple and happy. After I've settled a few things here, we'll go to France to look for them. Baiyo smiled. Then let's keep Xiao Yan's adoptive parents by our side. They're really good to Xiao Yan. That's why Xiao Yan likes them so much. It'll be good for them to stay and take care of Xiao Yan. Who knows, we might have other children soon and need help. Gu Lingqing looked at her gently. I think so too. What about Xiao Axian? Baiyo paused. Anyway, I respect your decision. I'll analyze the situation with him and let him make his own choice. If he chooses Zhou Hailan, I hope that Zhou Hailan will treat him well in the future. He can also come to me anytime. If he chooses me, I believe that you'll treat him well too. Gu Lingqing had already thought this through. I'll take good care of him. At least, I'll discuss it with you and tell you how to deal with it. I've learned child psychology, Baiyo said with a smile. Gu Lingqing hugged her in his arms. I haven't slept for a few days. Sleep with me for a while. Okay. She was also a little lazy. Do you want to sleep in the room? The last time I slept at the head of the bed, I caught a cold and a fever the next day. Okay. Gu Lingqing took the blanket and Baiyo took the pillow. Before returning to the room, she went to the control room to make sure that there was no problem with the data before returning to the room. Under normal circumstances, they would only arrive after 8 p.m. It was still early. When they returned to the room, Gu Lingqing was already asleep and breathing evenly. While she was sad, his mood would not be good either. Gu Lingqing would always bear more than her. She lay beside Gu Lingqing and put her hand on his waist. She closed her eyes and the boat swayed. After a while, she also fell asleep. After some time, she opened her eyes. The sky was already dark. She turned on her phone and looked beside her with the light from the phone. Gu Lingqing was already gone. He was the one who was tired and woke up early. He did not say it, but she knew that he was under a lot of pressure. After all, he had to settle a lot of things before leaving. She took a thick coat and wrapped it around her body. Then, she took a blanket and went out. She shouted, "Gu Lingqing! Here!" Gu Lingqing came out from the back of the boat. When Bai Ye saw him, the corner of her mouth turned up. She walked towards him and passed the blanket to him. "It's cold at night. Put on the blanket. I forgot to prepare some things for you on the boat. But after washing it tonight, it should be dry." Gu Lingqing took the blanket from Bai Ye's hands and put it on Bai Ye. "I'm not cold. I wear about this in winter too. You know that. Also, if you are talking about underwear, I brought it." "Aw. You brought it?" Bai Ye looked at him in surprise. That meant that he came this time to stay here. She was worried for a long time and even cut her hand. Chapter 447. In the evening, they did not finish the chicken wings from lunch, but they finished the fish soup. Gu Lingqing made winter-gourd pork rib soup and tomato eggs. Bai Ye ate Gu Lingqing's cooking happily. After dinner, the two of them watched a movie in the living room. Movies were bubble dramas. She could tell that Gu Lingqing did not like to watch them. "What do you want to watch?" "I've downloaded a lot of movies with all kinds of themes." Gu Lingqing shook his head and held her in his arms. "Watch whatever you like. I don't care." Bai Ye turned around and faced him. She thought for a moment and said, "Gu Lingqing, there's one more thing I haven't told you." "Ha? Isn't my mother an orphan?" "Her father came looking for her. We did a paternity test this morning. The result is out. I'm her granddaughter." "Are you talking about Mr. Tang?" Bai Ye pursed her lips and smiled. "You've been following me all this time. I haven't left for almost 24 hours. Gu Lingqing did not deny it. Bai Ye's smile widened and she hugged Gu Lingqing's neck. At that time, she was sad when Gu Lingqing said that. Now that she thought about it, it was unnecessary. He said that on purpose so that she would not be in danger. Mr. Tang is a patriot. Every time there's an earthquake or flood in country A, he's the one who donated the most. He's very patriotic. He's the president of the Foreign Patriots Association and a member of the parliament. You've acknowledged him now?" Gu Lingqing asked. Bai Ye nodded. "At first, I wanted to narrow the gap between us, so I was really looking forward to it. But then, I found out that he had a little girl with him who looked like me. I was worried that Su Jiran would find out that I was Bai Ye, so I only met him in private. So, I only acknowledged him in private. Because my grandfather owes my grandmother, he insists on compensating me. He will give me some money, and I will take it to fulfill one of his wishes." Gu Lingqing rubbed Bai Ye's head. "I'm sorry, I should be the one accompanying you. I know why you did it. It doesn't matter. I really don't know if you are stupid or not. I have scolded you like that, but you still want to sacrifice for me," Gu Lingqing said with pity. "Subconsciously, I thought that you were just temporarily angry and would definitely come looking for me." "Ha!" Bai Ye laughed. It seemed that she had guessed correctly. The ship's whistle sounded, and Bai Ye stood up. "What's wrong?" Gu Lingqing asked with confusion. The ship will reach the shore in about 2 kilometers. I'll go to the steering room to take a look. It's a little late today. Why don't we spend the night on the ship? Bai Yi suggested. Gu Lingqing nodded. The seaside is humid, and the blankets in the room need to be dried before we can sleep. Let's call it a night. We might be very busy tomorrow. Oh yeah, do you have a gun with you? Bai Yi was worried. If we encounter a black bear or a wolf, we'll be in trouble. Yes, I do. I applied for special permission. I'll go with you to the steering room, Gu Lingqing said as she held Bai Yi's hand and walked. He saw Bai Yi turn on the headlights, and the view in front suddenly became clear. Whether it was the naked eye or the video, he could see the beach and his house. Bai Yi skillfully adjusted the direction and speed, and stopped 50 meters away from the island. She lowered the anchor and fixed the ship. We're here, our home, Bai Yi said with a smile. Gu Lingqing also smiled. She looked at the time on her watch. It was 8:15 a.m., and it was still early to sleep. I also bought meat. Do you want to barbecue at the bow of the ship? Bai Yi suggested. Can we? This ship of yours has quite a lot of functions. Gu Lingqing was quite surprised. These pots and pans, as well as the induction cooker and the oven, were all given to me when I bought the ship. I have some firewood in the warehouse. When we go ashore tomorrow, we can move more firewood onto the ship. At that time, we can even drive the ship to travel around the world, Bai Yi said. Sounds good. Let's go to the warehouse. Gu Lingqing held her hand and went into the warehouse. He moved the oven out, and Bai Yi took the firewood, the baking pan, and the paper. When Gu Lingqing started the fire, she washed the baking pan, cut the pork into thin slices, and put them on a plate. She also peeled the potatoes and cut them into thin slices, and put them on another plate. When Gu Lingqing was done with the fire and came to find her, she was cutting sweet peppers. Gu Lingqing, is our net still there? Yes, it's in the room. I will put the fishing net down tomorrow, and we will have fish and crabs to eat. With modern seasonings, it should be more delicious. I missed it so much that I went to the seafood buffet. I realized that it was not as warm as the island. Bai Yi cut the vegetables and put the oil, monosodium glutamate, cumin, chili, and salt on the tray. Gu Lingqing took all of them. Bai Yi brought 2 bottles of beer, 2 bowls, and a brush over and put them on the ground. The fire in the oven danced, and her face was flushed. Gu Lingqing barbecued meat. Bai Yi picked up a piece and put it in her mouth. Her lips were oily. She savored the taste and praised, delicious. It's so delicious. Eat more if you like it. Gu Lingqing said dotingly. Bai Yi took a sip of beer, and put potatoes, peppers, and tomatoes on the paper. Then, she brushed a layer of oil on them. She covered the baking pan with paper. It would not give off a lot of smoke, and it would not burn the food easily. Tomorrow, you will stay at home to dry the quilt, do the housework, and tidy up the house. I will go hunting. You can stay at home, but don't open the door. Do you understand? Also, I bought a GPS. You can dial a number with the house as the center. There will be signal within 200 meters. My room has electricity. You can contact the outside world with your brain. If you are bored, you can watch movies or play games online. Wait for me to come back. When will you come back? I will be worried about you. Why don't we do the housework together and go hunting together? Gu Lingqing picked up a few pieces of pork belly and put it in Bai Yi's bowl. Hunting is a technical job. You can't make any noise, and you have to be fast. You will distract me. Also, hunting depends on luck. Many hunters go out in groups and stay in the mountains for a few days before returning home. Okay. It gets dark earlier in the forest. You have to come back at 3 o'clock, whether you have hunted or not. I have enough rice and some dry goods here. We will stay here for a few days. We won't starve. Gu Lingqing nodded. Okay. He added some pork belly to Bai Ye's bowl. Bai Ye picked up some for Gu Lingqing. You eat too. I ate all of it. Eat more. You will have strength later. Ha. Chapter 448. Firewood, fire, surging feelings, jumping blood, under the romantic moonlight, the two of them entangled together, the floating light projected on the wall, everything was beautiful and serene. At 7:15 the next morning, Bai Ye woke up and looked to the right. Gu Lingqing also woke up, holding his head and looking at her. She smiled and took the initiative to hug him, nestling in his arms for a while. The weather is getting cold, put on more clothes today, Gu Lingqing said. Okay, I'll get up to make breakfast. After breakfast, we'll dry the quilt and then go to the beach to catch crabs. After eating, I'll take a nap and you'll go hunting, okay? Bai Ye arranged. Gu Lingqing smiled. Okay. He went to wash up first, and she put on clothes. She put on an extra vest and sportswear on the outside, which was more convenient for catching crabs. Coming out of the bedroom, the sun was shining brightly. She took a deep breath, and the air with the dampness of the forest and sea smelled especially fresh. She looked at him. He stood on top of the roof and exercised. His tall figure and beautiful face were especially pleasing to the eye. Bai Ye smiled brightly. In the future, they would all be very happy, just like in a dream, and her heart was filled with a sweet feeling. She went to the kitchen to make breakfast and took the century eggs. There was still pork belly left yesterday, so she cut off the lean meat and made the century egg and lean meat porridge. The fat part was boiled in oil. She remembered the fat of wild boar at that time, it was especially fragrant. However, animal fat could not be eaten too much, it could easily clog the blood vessels. If she ate too much, she would exercise more to increase her metabolism. Now, she just had to wait for the porridge to be soft. She set the timer on the rice cooker for half an hour and went out. Gu Lingqing was still exercising, and she also stood beside him, doing yoga. The two of them looked at each other and smiled. Bai Ye looked into the distance of the sea and stretched. There's a treadmill in the living room, I'll buy some barbells next time. Okay. We're going to France. Why did you choose to settle in France? I thought it would be Germany or Africa. Bai Ye was curious. Do you remember that I invited you to France for a vacation? Gu Lingqing asked. She remembered, but at that time, the two of them had a conflict again, so the trip was cancelled. You have a house in France? Yes, a little more than you think. We live in Bordeaux. That place is close to the sea. When we travel, we can drive our own boat there. We will pass by a few famous cities. We will stay in that city for a month and travel there. Gu Lingqing said with a smile. Is the procedure easy? The Gu family has exclusive docks in many places. It's not difficult. Bai Ye's eyes darkened. The Gu's was his family's business. If he wanted to sell it, he would definitely face a lot of criticism, including from his parents. Actually, it doesn't matter if we don't sell the Gu's. We can just put our headquarters in Bordeaux. Anyway, we won't be coming back to a country, and those people shouldn't be afraid anymore. Are they afraid of you? You won't fight with them for the presidency. Well, let's not worry about this first. We will deal with it when we get back, Gu Lingqing said with a smile. They exercised together. Bai Ye was in a good mood and began to hum a tune. Gu Lingqing thought it was quite nice. What song is this? The person I love the most, Baiya said with a smile. Gu Lingqing also smiled and looked at her with a burning gaze. He repeated her words, the person I love the most. Good. Baiya's heart was beating fast and her face was red. Breakfast should have been ready. I will go down first. Let's go together. He held her hand and walked in front of her into the kitchen. The porridge was indeed ready. It was puffing and steaming. Baiya turned off the power and brought 2 bowls and spoons over. Gu Lingqing took the spoon from her hand and let out the air in the pressure cooker before opening the lid. The pot was still bubbling. The porridge was sticky. There was white rice, black century eggs, and dark red meat. It looked delicious. He scooped the porridge and brought it to the table. She took the poached eggs and chopsticks over and reminded him, be careful. It's hot. Eat it when it's cold. He nodded and opened the fridge. There was a whole chicken, a few cucumbers, a few carrots, and a bag of tea tree mushrooms. There were no other fresh ingredients. What do you want to cook later? I will cut the ingredients for you, Gu Lingqing said. Her heart warmed. We will have chicken soup for lunch. It is a whole chicken stewed in a casserole pot. There is no need to cut it. Then, I will cook a carrot, cucumber, and egg. That's it. The cucumber and carrot are not difficult to cut. I have cut the carrot. You can stir-fry it later. Gu Lingqing took the carrot out of the fridge. She started to wash it without saying anything. Then I will go wash our clothes. She walked into the room and washed their underwear. She hung them on the ceiling. When she was done, the porridge was cold. She added some hot porridge, and it was just right. After lunch, Baiya drove the boat to the shore and put down the ladder. Gu Lingqing carried the bucket and 2 small shovels down first. When she went down, Gu Lingqing carried her directly. Baiya grinned and pressed the remote control to put the ladder back. Some of the crabs on the shore felt the movement and quickly moved. Some drilled into the sand, and some quickly ran into the sea. Gu Lingqing put on white gloves for her. Some of the crabs did not run in time and jumped into their bucket. After only an hour, they had a bucket full of crabs. The products here are much better than on Stevens Island. Baiya sighed. Stephen has lived on that island for more than 20 years, and he often goes there. After a long time, the crabs are not stupid, and they naturally go there less. No one lives here for a long time. The natural enemies of the crabs are migratory birds, but there are not many migratory birds here, so there are many crabs. Gu Lingqing explained. We are going to France. I will miss this place. Baiya sighed. It will be fine to come here for a period of time every year. I am no longer in politics, and the business of goose is also on the right track. I still have time to accompany my wife. Gu Lingqing took her hand back to the house, unlocked it, and closed the door outside. Then we will cook here today. Baiya asked. There is a stove here, and the woodshed is full of firewood. I have bought all the seasonings. I will go to bed and bring the ingredients here later. Gu Lingqing lowered his head and glanced at the kitchen. Baiya made an okay gesture. I will dry the quilt. Gu Lingqing opened the door and went to the second floor to turn on the generator, the signal transmitter, and the induction cooker. When Baiya was drying the quilt, she heard the phone ringing. Chapter 449. She took a deep breath and called Alan back. Sorry, I went out to sea yesterday, so there was no signal. It doesn't matter. I think so too. Xiao Nian, I'm at the airport now. I'm going to accompany my grandmother back, Alan said softly. Baiya felt guilty. When she was in England, Alan took good care of her and never refused to help her. She promised to treat him to her cooking, but in the end, she did not do it. Will you come again? Of course, I haven't transferred the company to you yet. There are still many things that I haven't done. I mean, I have a lot of business in a land. Besides, I have you and Gu Lingqing as my friends. This country and this city have a different meaning to me because of you. I will come again. Alan said. He said with a smile. When you come again, I will definitely treat you to a meal. Baiya promised. No need. I'm afraid that I won't be willing to leave after eating it. Well, I'll check out the room for you. Have fun outside. Alan said meaningfully. Without giving Baiya any chance to speak, he hung up the phone. How are you going to get a girlfriend like this? Alan's grandmother complained. Alan smiled gently. If you can't find me, I'll always be with you. You want to be with me forever, but I can't be with you forever. I will live for another 4 to 5 years. You should find a girlfriend eventually. I like Wu Nian very much. She is different from other girls. She is a pure person, just like her grandmother, Alan's grandmother said willfully. Alan smiled. When she has someone else in her heart, if I continue to pester her, she will only be irritated and I will be tired. I want her to be happy all the time. If Gu Lingqing can't give her happiness, I will get her back. All right, Grandma, we should get on the plane. Alan put his arm around his grandmother's shoulder and walked forward. Just as they were about to enter the airport, he turned around and looked into the distance. He knew that Wu Nian wouldn't come, but he still turned around to look. Ridiculous. Baiya called Shaniyan back. Where is it? If you want to enter the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, you'll need to go through the interview. I've already arranged it for you. Come to the parliament in the afternoon, Shaniyan said while concealing her anger. I'm sorry. I can't enter the Ministry of Foreign Affairs or the cabinet anymore. I've discussed it with Gu Lingqing. I'll leave here and never come back, Baiya said. Shaniyan paused. You and Gu Lingqing are leaving. Could he leave? Now that he's gone, all those years of hard work will go to waste. Shaniyan, we are different from you. Our dream is to live a happy life as a family. We don't care about other things, Baiya said in a deep voice. Gu Lingqing's parents won't agree, Shaniyan said with certainty. We will try to persuade them to go with us. If they are unwilling, we will go by ourselves. So, I'm sorry, you don't have to help me arrange it. Thank you, Baiya said straightforwardly. You guys, where are you going? Won't you come back in the future? Shaniyan asked as if she was thinking about something. If Gu Lingqing's parents go with us, they probably won't come back. Only you know how much you've sacrificed in order to stabilize the regime and be a good president. We want to be with the person we love the most. All right, I'll stop talking. I'm busy now, Baiya said resolutely. She hung up the phone. Shaniyan was stunned on the spot. After a while, she opened the photo album on her phone. There were photos of Lu Shuang and their baby. He envied Gu Lingqing and Baiya very much. They could give up everything, family, glory, responsibility, and country, for the sake of being together. But he couldn't, because if he gave up, his family would be wiped out one by one. Baiya hung up the phone and called Zhou Hailan back. Baiya, where are you now? Why didn't you call me back? Ever since I was admitted to the hospital, Su Jiran hasn't come to see me even once. What about the thing you promised me? Zhou Hailan said angrily. Baiya was silent. She had a feeling that she didn't want to care about anything anymore. What responsibility, what burden, what promise? Compared to being with Gu Lingqing, everything became insignificant. I'm on vacation outside now. Let's talk about it when I come back. Vacation. I'm in the hospital and you're actually on vacation. Baya, let me tell you, if you can't do what you promised me, I won't let you off, Zhou Hailan said arrogantly. She hung up the phone immediately. The moment she contacted the outside world, she felt a heavy pressure on her shoulders. If she could, she really wanted to be isolated from the world. She wanted to stay on this deserted island with Gu Lingqing and never go back. Before she could make the call, an unknown number called. She picked up the phone. Hello, who's this? Baya, I'm Xiaohe. Thank you for saving me. I've now recovered my innocence and the country has compensated me. I'm now the director of the Southern District Military Office in City A with the rank of Lieutenant Colonel, Xiaohe said excitedly. You deserve it. Baya was happy for her too. When are we going to meet up? I'll treat you to a meal. I still have a lot of things to tell you. Xiaohe was still excited. Alright, let's meet up when I come back from my vacation, Baya said in a low voice and hung up the phone. There was still one last call from Su Jiran. She didn't want to reply or pick up the call, so she switched off her phone and continued to dry the quilt. Gu Lingqing stood in the corridor on the second floor and looked at her. His gaze was deep and there was a hidden emotion in it. The corner of his mouth was slightly raised. It was worth it. He had given up his dream to be with her. He could live a relaxed and happy life with her children. Knowing how to give up was another kind of scenery. Baya turned back to look at him after drying the quilt. Gu Lingqing was drying the clothes in the corridor on the second floor. He looked at her and smiled. Baya went in to cook. She boiled the chicken soup first and stir-fried vegetables in another pot. 1 carrot, 1 egg, and 1 cucumber. She washed them quickly and put them on the stove to cook. In modern society, rice cookers were used in many places. Actually, the rice was more fragrant when cooked in such a big pot, especially at the bottom. If it was cooked for too long, a layer of rice crust would form. It was hard, crispy, and fragrant. Sometimes, it could be eaten with a little sugar or cut into pieces and put in the bowl. It was especially delicious when the soup was poured into the bowl. Today, she specially cooked the rice a little more and made a bowl of rice crust soup. Chapter 450. Baya guessed that he was talking to his father, and it made sense. If she were his parents, she would not agree with him leaving everything, leaving the country where he had made a name for himself, going to another country, and maybe never coming back. While Baya was in a daze, Gu Lingqing walked in front of her. Baya raised her head and looked at him. She didn't want to be a burden to him, but when things developed, there was a moment when she didn't realize it. When she realized it, she was still a burden. I'm sorry. There's nothing to be sorry about. Everyone has their own ambitions. I don't force others and I don't want others to force me. Because I know what to do to make me happy, Gu Lingqing said with a smile. Your father still owes you a lot. We're already parents and we should understand the feeling of wanting our son to succeed. So, talk to him nicely even if he's forcing you. Or, try to convince him calmly. That's even better, Baya said gently. I remember you once said that if you love him, you don't think about what you have to do to him. Instead, you think about what he wants you to do. That is love, right? Gu Lingqing asked softly. Baya's eyes turned red. So, you love me more than I love you. I have to love you more in the future. Gu Lingqing smiled and rubbed Baya's head. Can we eat now? I'm full. I'm going out to hunt. I forgot to ask you. What are you going to use for hunting? A pistol? Baya asked. I have a crossbow in my room. It's a modern version. I'll show it to you later. When you're free, I'll help you practice archery, Gu Lingqing said gently. That's great. I want to practice, Bai said with a smile. Gu Lingqing held her hand and brought her downstairs to eat. After eating, she saw his crossbow. It was different from what she had imagined. She thought it was a bow and arrow, but it wasn't. It could be done with one hand on the trigger. She seemed to have seen it in a sci-fi movie. This crossbow is small and easy to carry. Its range and strength are 3 times that of a bow and arrow. There's also an enhanced version of the arrow. It can penetrate a wild boar's head from 10 meters away. The poison at the tail of the arrow has a knockout effect. Basically, it can subdue the enemy in one move, Gu Lingqing explained to Baiya. He also wanted Baiya to be at ease. Sounds good. It's already past 12 o'clock now, so you have to come back before 3:30, no matter if you catch any prey or not. I'll be worried about you. Also, do you have a flashlight here? Take it with you, just in case. Let me tell you, if you don't come back by 10 o'clock, I'll go and find you, understand? Baiya said. Do you understand? Gu Lingqing chuckled and rubbed her face. Yes, Chief. Come back early, Baiya said reluctantly. I won't go out. Wait for me to come back, Gu Lingqing said. Oh right, bring an umbrella. The weather in the ocean is not good. It'll rain in the afternoon, Baiya reminded. I brought a raincoat. Don't worry, Gu Lingqing said gently. Baiya looked at the backpack he prepared. It looked bulging. Okay, be careful on the road. She stood on the second floor and watched him leave. When Gu Lingqing left, he helped her close the door and quickly disappeared from her sight. As soon as he left, this place instantly became cold and empty. She didn't want to miss him too much, so she started to clean every room, making sure that it was spotless. After she was done, she looked at the time. It was already 4 o'clock. She put away the quilt and bedding and put them on the bed. His clothes were hanging in the closet. Maybe it was because Gu Lingqing had just brought the clothes over not long ago, so they didn't go moldy. The weather by the sea was too humid. It was the same for people. After she was done, she stood on the balcony and looked into the distance. From time to time, she would look at her phone. The anxiety of waiting was really annoying. At 5:36 a.m., she heard someone knocking on the door. She was worried that it was a wild animal and asked cautiously, "Who is it?" "It's me." Gu Lingqing's voice was heard. Baiya smiled brightly. "I'm coming." She happily came down the stairs and opened the door. Gu Lingqing seemed to have hunted a lot of game. He got 2 sacks and one of the sacks seemed to have something moving. "What is it?" "Let's go to the woodshed now." "Take out the mat and form a circle," Gu Lingqing said. She had seen the sleeping mat in the cupboard when she was cleaning up earlier today. She immediately went to get it and formed a circle. "Let the joint face the corner of the wall," Gu Lingqing said. "Oh." Baiya straightened it and piled a lot of wood outside the joint to ensure that the circle would not fall easily. Gu Lingqing turned the moving sack upside down. 2 big rabbits came out, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, a total of 8 small rabbits. Baiya was surprised and looked at Gu Lingqing. "Why are there so many of them? And they are still alive. How did you catch them? Haven't you heard of rabbits catching a nest?" "I followed the rabbit home, and then I killed all of them," Gu Lingqing explained. "Rabbits, they are quite cute." She couldn't bear to eat them. However, this world was a survival of the fittest. This was the natural law of survival. Perhaps, only young ladies who lived in a greenhouse without worrying about food and clothing were qualified to pity small animals. Gu Lingqing poured out the things in the other sack. Baiya saw 3 pheasants. She didn't know if they were dead or in a coma. There were also a lot of bracken and some wild vegetables that she didn't know the name of. Are you still digging wild vegetables? I saw it on the way. There are a lot of matsutake in it. You can put it in the chicken soup. Gu Lingqing said and picked up the pheasants. I'll have to trouble you to boil more hot water later. I'm going to deal with the pheasants. We have so much food. You don't have to go hunting tomorrow. Hee hee. Baiye said with a smile. She wanted to stay with him. Gu Lingqing smiled. Do you know how to take a bath in this place? How? Baiye asked. Gu Lingqing took her to a small room inside. There was also a stove. Different from the stove used for cooking, the pot was very big. This is for taking a bath. When I was a doctor, I went to the mountains for voluntary consultation. I took a bath in a resident's house. Put water on it, light a fire under it, heat the water, and lie in it to take a bath, Baiye said. You know. Gu Lingqing smiled and looked at her with a burning gaze. Tonight, let's take a bath together. It won't be cold here. Take a bath together. Baiye's face turned red. She lowered her head in embarrassment. Her eyes flashed and she said, I'm going to make dinner now. I haven't finished the lunch. We can eat when it's hot. Chapter 451. Baiye didn't refuse. She closed her eyes and kissed him back. Suddenly, she thought of something. Little White, we left Little White on the boat for a day. We forgot to feed him at noon. Gu Lingqing looked at her and smiled helplessly. Okay, you cook. I'll bring Little White over. But don't let him go to the woodshed. He will scare the rabbit. We still have to raise the rabbit before we eat it. Baiye made an okay gesture. Don't forget to bring the dog food. She went to cook dinner and boil water. Gu Lingqing went to the bed and took the dog back. In 10 minutes, she prepared dinner and water. Then, she helped Gu Lingqing pluck the feathers of the chicken. Little White was around them. He kissed the chicken and wanted to bite it. Little White, you are not allowed to bite it. Baiye said. The dog looked at Baiye and walked away dejectedly. After a while, when Baiye wasn't paying attention, it sneaked back and bit the chicken feathers. Its eyes were still peeking at Baiye. When it saw Baiye looking at it, it ran away dejectedly. Baiye smiled. We'll keep one chicken and put the rest in the fridge on the boat. Gu Lingqing said. Baiye nodded. That's good. I can try to make different kinds of dishes with the chicken. I won't get tired of it these days. Gu Lingqing looked at her. Her eyes were full of tenderness. When they finished cooking the chicken, the sky was dark. The dog was tired and full. It lay on the ground and took a nap. When Gu Lingqing went to the boat to put the chicken, he picked up the dog and put it back in the kennel on the boat. In the evening, Baiye made a bowl of mixed bracken in addition to the leftovers from the day. Did anything interesting happen when you were hunting today? Baiye asked. Gu Lingqing shook his head, thought for a moment, and said, the most interesting thing is to find prey, the moment you catch it, and the surprise when you see them. Can you teach me all these skills? I want to go with you in the future. I'm a bit bored at home, Baiye said softly. Hunting is hard work. Gu Lingqing didn't want her to suffer. It's fine as long as I don't think it's tiring. If I think it's tiring, I won't go anymore. How about this? Tomorrow, you take me hunting. We won't be able to catch anything. Anyway, we already have food, so it's fine even if we can't catch anything. Right? Baiye suggested. Yes, I can do anything you say, Gu Lingqing said helplessly. Then you agree. I only need a knife. Bai Ye was elated. Gu Lingqing laughed. I'll give you a gun to protect yourself, but you have to follow me closely. I'm already following you closely to hunt. I won't agree to not follow you closely, Bai Ye said jokingly. Gu Lingqing was amused by Bai Ye. Got it. We'll leave tomorrow morning. Is that okay? Then I'll make some dry food at night. There's flour, butter, and an oven on the boat. Bai Ye pointed at the door behind her. Okay, let's go together after we shower. Ha! Gu Lingqing looked at her deeply. She understood. She didn't think too much about it. However, she was willing to do it. Even thinking about it made her feel exceptionally sweet. The pot was quite big, but with 2 adults in it, it felt small. Bai Ye was a little worried. Are you sure you won't step on it? He bit her lips and supported himself with his hand on the side. The muscles on his arm were tense, and he said hoarsely, No. I think it's weird. Because in the pot, she remembered the word food. He hugged her waist and lifted her up. What's weird about it? You've watched too many Japanese movies. Ha! Bai Ye, she had watched Asian movies before. The girls in those movies often said that it was weird. She felt awkward. When she said that it was weird, it really was weird. That's not what I meant, Bai Ye explained. Then what do you mean? He exerted more force. She moaned and said coquettishly, Be gentler. He lowered his head and kissed her lips, to her neck, to her collarbone, and then downwards. The shower lasted for 45 minutes. When she came out, she was limp and had no energy left. Gu Lingqing carried her to the blanket and the 2 of them stayed in bed for a long time. They had wanted to make cookies at night, but in the end, they didn't and went to sleep. She slept well that night. The next day, she woke up at 6:30, feeling refreshed. She turned her head to look at Gu Lingqing. He was still sleeping. She turned around and faced him. Her heart was surging with sweetness as she smiled. Gu Lingqing's eyes were still closed. Suddenly, he smiled and hugged her in his arms, turning over. What are you smiling about? I feel very happy, Bai Ye said with a smile. Gu Lingqing's eyes were moved. We will always be happy in the future. Bai Ye smiled and raised her brows. She believed that when they left country A, they would be able to live a normal life like ordinary people. I have to make some rations this morning. Didn't we say that we would go hunting in the morning? I think we should get up, Bai Ye said. Although she didn't want to get up, it felt good to stay by his side. It was safe, stable, and warm. All right, I'll go pick up some firewood. You stay on the boat. Before I come back, you're not allowed to come down, understand? Gu Lingqing instructed. I understand. I will be responsible for my life for you. Similarly, I hope that you will be responsible for your own life for me. Gu Lingqing tapped her forehead. After brushing her teeth and washing up, he sent her to the boat. Bai Ye also brought the pheasant that she hung up yesterday to the boat. She first used the rice cooker to cook porridge. She stuffed the pheasant's stomach with garlic, ginger, and a bag of medicine that she specially made. It contained fennel, tangerine peel, pepper, cloves, and licorice. She poured the MSG, salt, sesame oil, soy sauce, sugar, and corn flour into the cooking wine. After mixing it, she spread it evenly on the pheasant's body and stomach. Then, she put it into the oven. Soon, the kitchen was filled with a delicious smell. The dog barked a few times at the head of the bed. Bai Ye went to feed the dog food and water. She patted the dog's head. I'm going out for a day. I'll be back in the evening. Thank you, Xiao Bai, for cooking. Woof. The dog barked. Baya poured enough dog food into the dog's bowl. She came back, washed her hands, and made cookies. It smells so good. What did you make? Gu Lingqing's voice sounded. Baya turned around and looked at him. Roast chicken. It's delicious even when it's cold. There's about 2 minutes left. When it's done, bake the cookies. The porridge is almost ready. There's fermented bean curd. I'll cook 2 eggs and it'll be ready. I feel like you've done a lot of things. Gu Lingqing sighed. Chapter 452. The forest was more magical than she had imagined, but it was also more dangerous than she had imagined. The danger did not lie in the large animals, but in the small animals and insects. It was not easy to see them with the naked eye, such as spiders and snakes. If she was not careful, these things could kill her. So, she always had a wooden stick in her hand to clear the path in front of her. The forest was hotter and humid than the outside, and the ground was slippery. Baya tried her best to follow Gu Lingqing, not wanting to be his burden. But she could feel that he was still slowing down to wait for her, and he was more careful than usual. It's a pity that there are no bamboo shoots in this season, or it would be delicious. Baya sighed. There are no bamboo shoots now, but there are matsutake mushrooms. Gu Lingqing explained. Baya stopped and looked up. Above her head were dense leaves. This geographical environment was indeed suitable for the growth of fungi. She patted Gu Lingqing. Doesn't that look like a grapefruit? Gu Lingqing looked up. It looks like it. Wait a minute, be careful of the snakes on the ground and the spiders on top of your head. Gu Lingqing reminded her. He took off his belt and climbed up the tree in no time. That posture was really cool. Baya smiled and watched him pluck the grapefruit. Xiaoya, be careful. He threw the grapefruit down. Baya dodged. Gu Lingqing only plucked 3 grapefruit. He would not be able to carry any more. Baya took out one. It was very heavy. She used a knife to cut open the grapefruit and peeled it a little. It's not bad, it's sweet and sour. She peeled the skin off the grapefruit and only held the meat. It was lighter. Will it spoil easily? Gu Lingqing asked. No, I have honey and rock sugar on the boat. If we can't finish them, we can make honey grapefruit. It's better to drink tea. Baya looked up at the tree full of grapefruit inside. Nature is really amazing. I found a lot of chestnut trees yesterday. Do you want to eat chestnuts? Let's go and hunt some chestnuts on our way back. Gu Lingqing said lightly. He had seen a lot. He had stayed in the forest for a long time and witnessed the gifts of nature, as well as the cruelty of nature. Baya had only come to the forest when she followed him. The last time, she had only walked with him for a while. She was pleasantly surprised. That's great. Let me tell you, chestnuts can be boiled, stir-fried, and roasted. They're also very nutritious. Yes, I'll pick more when I get back. Gu Lingqing said as he pulled her forward for another half an hour. Suddenly, he stopped, chose a spot, and squatted down with Baya. Baya didn't even dare to breathe heavily. He stared at the direction Gu Lingqing was looking at. First, the bushes moved. Not long after, a pair of tusks appeared. A big wild boar made a goo-goo sound and swaggered out. That wild boar was very big. It was estimated to be 200 pounds. It was much bigger than the one they caught before. Compared to this one, the previous one was probably underage. Gu Lingqing picked up the crossbow and aimed at the wild boar. The wild boar looked in Gu Lingqing's direction and discovered Gu Lingqing. It ran towards the bushes on the right at lightning speed. Squat here. Gu Lingqing ordered. He jumped out of the bushes and chased after the wild boar. He didn't dare to chase too far. He was afraid that Baya would be in danger and he wouldn't be able to save her in time. Baya didn't want to be a burden. She would hide when he asked her to. But she seemed to have heard a strange sound. She turned around and saw the wild boar that was estimated to be 200 pounds staring at her. Baya was so scared that her legs turned to jelly. She sat on the ground and remembered that she had a gun in her bag. She went to take the gun. But it was too late. The wild boar rushed towards her. She instinctively threw the bag at it and shouted, "Gu Lingqing." When Gu Lingqing heard Baya's voice, his heart skipped a beat. He immediately turned back. The wild boar didn't stare at her. It ran to the bag and used its nose to sniff at the chicken meat. It took a big bite out of it. Baya guessed that she would be the wild boar after it ate the chicken. She quickly stood up, climbed up the tree and stared at the wild boar. Gu Lingqing arrived. He fired the crossbow at lightning speed. The arrow was shot out and went through the wild boar's head. The wild boar swayed a few times and fell to the ground. He didn't have time to check on the wild boar. He looked at Baya. "Are you okay?" Baya was still in shock. She shook her head. "I'm fine." She came down from the tree. Before she landed, Gu Lingqing carried her down and apologized. "I'm sorry. I was careless. This forest is their territory. They are more familiar with the road than me. I'm useless. It has nothing to do with you. Besides, I think that the wild boar smelled the chicken on me. So, I threw the bag and it chased after the bag. You can carry the food in the future. I will improve my survival skills. I won't let you worry." Baya promised. She said. Gu Lingqing saw that she was really fine. He was relieved. He had to be more careful when he brought her out in the future. He would rather not have food than let anything happen to her. Baya looked at the wild boar on the ground. "Our chicken is gone. That pig looks huge. How are we going to bring it back?" Gu Lingqing looked at the time on his phone. It was 12:10 p.m. With it, our trip was not in vain. We can probably eat for a few months. Let's go back now. Eat some biscuits and drag it back. It's too heavy. Baya suggested. Actually, we can deal with it here. We won't eat the internal organs, but other animals will eat it. Gu Lingqing said and walked towards the wild boar. Baya turned around and did not look at Gu Lingqing. She ate the biscuits. This was the law of survival in nature. The strong preyed on the weak. No one was a fairy who could survive by drinking dew. After 15 minutes, Gu Lingqing walked towards her. "Let's go. The smell of blood will attract nearby carnivores." Then, her mind flashed. Wouldn't they be able to catch all of them at once? Gu Lingqing saw her doubts. "Do you eat wolf meat?" Baya shook her head. "Do you eat lions and tigers?" Gu Lingqing asked again. Baya shook her head again. "Those are protected animals. Stay. When they want to eat us, we can only kill them. To avoid unnecessary harm, let's go." Gu Lingqing said and held her hand. Baya looked at the sack. It was bulging and blood-stained. "Have you dealt with it?" "Yes, almost. Let's go back first. After we go back, I'll go pick the chestnuts and you'll be responsible for the meat. Is that okay?" Gu Lingqing asked. "Sure, I'll help you carry it. You need too much strength to carry it like this. The blood will also rub on your body." Baya suggested. "It's okay. Just walk properly. This weight is nothing to me." He felt sorry for her and did not want her to be tired. Chapter 453. It was easy to get lost in the forest because there were no landmarks. People with a bad sense of direction wouldn't be able to tell north from south. Fortunately, Gu Lingqing was a very sensitive person. He would make some marks on the trees. She asked him what those marks meant. He explained to her in detail that the marks had 20% meaning. Direction and angle. Simply put, it meant what direction you were standing in and what time you were looking at the watch. The specifics would be told to the team members during the mission. The rules of each mission were different. Even if the enemy found the marks on the trees, they wouldn't know where they were. Only their own people would know. For example, he made the marks facing south this time. There would be a slight deviation when he looked at the watch at a 45-degree angle, but it didn't affect much. They set off at 9:30 in the morning. Because they had to look for prey on the way, they arrived much slower than when they went back. It was only 2:30 in the afternoon when they reached the beach. Gu Lingqing threw away the wild boar's head and innards. Bai weighed the remaining wild boar meat on the scale. There were still 130 catties left. He went to the beach to wash the wild boar. She cooked first. She could make shredded meat and egg fried rice later. Gu Lingqing didn't eat anything on the way. Even if there were biscuits, she was the one who forced him to eat them. After a while, Gu Lingqing came back with the wild boar meat and asked Bai, "What are you going to do with this meat? I don't think we can eat so much at once. I think we can go hunting for a long time. It won't be a problem for us to get through the winter." Bai smiled. Gu Lingqing also raised the corner of his mouth. "If you like, you can stay on this island for a while. I think it's better." "Okay." Bai agreed. She liked this unfettered, unburdened, relaxed, and leisurely life. She could cultivate for a few months without any worries. She pointed at the pork ribs section. "We'll eat chestnut pork ribs tonight, and I'll make braised pork trotters. We'll marinate the streaky pork later, and we'll make bacon out of the pork ribs. You keep this lean meat part too. Tomorrow, we'll go to the forest to look for edible wild vegetables. I'll make dumplings for you. We can keep them for a week. Just put them in the refrigerator. The rest can be frozen first. We can eat some later." That's right. But you have to divide them into different categories. Some are for stir-frying, some for soup, some for braising, and some for braising. It's a pity that you lost the pig's trotters and pig's head." Bai pursed her lips and smiled. Gu Lingqing glanced at her. He didn't know what was so funny. "I'll cut it now. You leave the food you need for a week," Gu Lingqing said. "Cut a piece of foreleg meat for me first. I'm going to use it for egg fried rice." Bai divided the meat, and Gu Lingqing put it in the fridge on the ship. When he came back, he took the dog back. After dinner, Gu Lingqing set off to pick chestnuts. Bai glanced at the time. It was already past 15. The place to pick chestnuts is not far away. It's past 16:00 in the forest this season. It gets dark very quickly. Bai was worried. Gu Lingqing rubbed her head. "It's not far. I know. I'll be back before 18:00. Don't worry." Bai nodded and walked him to the door. "Close the door," Gu Lingqing said. Bai closed the door reluctantly. She thought that it would only take 2 hours. She went back to marinate the meat first and chop the minced meat for the dumplings tomorrow. When she was almost done, she found that it was getting dark. She looked at the time. It was 17:50. She turned on the light and went to the second floor to look outside. From afar, she saw a figure coming. It should be Gu Lingqing. Baiya couldn't help but smile. He was a man of his word. He would do what he promised. She saw him approaching and quickly ran down the stairs. When she heard the first knock on the door, she opened the door and said with a smile, "I'm so happy to see you." Gu Lingqing came in with 2 sacks and frowned. "It's cold. Why don't you put on more clothes? It's not allowed in the future. You'll catch a cold. I'll stand outside for a while. You'll see." "That's not allowed either," Gu Lingqing said. He took the 2 sacks to the kitchen and poured out the chestnuts in one of the sacks. Baiya was surprised to see the original chestnuts. She squatted down and picked one up. "You mean this hedgehog-like thing is a chestnut? This one grows on the tree. If it accidentally falls and pricks a person's head, he'll definitely die." Gu Lingqing picked up one on the ground and broke it open. There were 3 black chestnuts inside. "So, it's really chestnuts. You picked so many." Baiya sighed. "One is a very big chestnut for making soup. The other is a small chestnut that can be cooked and eaten. It's sweeter. I didn't really pick it. I just picked it up after it fell from the tree. I should have followed you. That way, I can help you pick it up and it'll be faster." Gu Lingqing pinched her nose. "You're under the tree, and I'm on the tree. I'll be worried. On the tree, under the tree." Why did she feel that they were like monkeys? She smiled. "Then I'll peel some big ones to make soup. Wear gloves. Don't get pricked," Gu Lingqing said. He looked at her thin and tender hands. "Forget it. I'll do it. You boil the water and put the chestnuts in cold water. It'll be easier to peel them." "Oh. Are you hungry now?" "I ate shredded meat and egg fried rice at 15 p.m. It's only 18 p.m. now. Of course I'm not hungry. Are you hungry?" Gu Lingqing asked. Baiya smiled and shook her head. "I'm not hungry either." She went to boil the water. After cooking the chestnuts, she watched Gu Lingqing peel the hedgehog-like things. He was very fast. Soon, he was done peeling. It looked like a sack. After peeling, there was probably a third of it left, but it was still a lot. They didn't have to go out for the next few days. After he was done peeling the big ones, he peeled the small ones. The small ones were a little big. They were half the size of the sugar-fried chestnuts sold in the market. The big ones were also half the size of the sugar-fried chestnuts. So, the small ones were only a quarter of the big ones. It took more time to peel them than the big ones. Baiya boiled the chestnuts. When she put them in cold water to cool, she wanted to help Gu Lingqing. "You need to use a knife to peel the chestnut. Do you know how to make 4 cuts on it?" Gu Lingqing asked worriedly. "Of course." Gu Lingqing felt that she could make a cut. "Forget it. You can make the pork trotters." "I'll do it. I can do it. I'll be careful. If I make a cut again, don't let me do it again." She wanted to help him. "You can make the pork trotters now. You're good at that. It takes a long time to cook, right?" Gu Lingqing asked. "This kind of pot is fine. Don't worry about the firewood. You just need to add firewood from time to time. Aren't we going to make chestnut pork ribs? We have 2 pots. What about lunch? There's still a lot of rice left for lunch. Just put it on top of the pork rib soup and steam it. We can also steam it." Chapter 454. He paused for 5 seconds and said, "There doesn't seem to be any vegetarian dishes. It's easy to get inflamed if you eat like this. Don't you have matsutake and chestnuts?" Tomorrow morning, we'll go to the forest to look for wild vegetables and eat dumplings. Baiya glanced at the matsutake mushrooms that she had washed. Gu Lingqing nodded. Let's roast pork trotters then. He continued to peel the chestnuts. Why did she find him so adorable? She started a fire and boiled the pork trotters in the water to remove the dirt. The fire was very strong, and she only needed to add a little from time to time. After covering the pot, he peeled off the black chestnut skin, leaving only the yellow meat. Isn't it roasted pig's trotters? Gu Lingqing's voice sounded. Baiya chuckled. She understood what Gu Lingqing meant. She turned to look at Gu Lingqing and said, All right, Mr. Gu, you're reliable. This is a piece of cake for me. Don't forget that when you knew me, I was holding a scalpel. Gu Lingqing stopped talking, but the speed at which he peeled the hedgehog's shell sped up. He murmured, If I had known, I wouldn't have picked so many. Baiya was once again amused by Gu Lingqing. He lowered his head and peeled the skin while saying, Tomorrow, you still have to go harvest with me. We need to store more. These are seasonal. After this season, there will be no more. Especially in winter, there will be less food, right? Gu Lingqing looked at her back and softly replied, if possible, he could really spend the winter with her here. Anyway, as long as there was internet, they could video call each other. It was a rare opportunity for him to go back for an inspection. But what if she was pregnant? What if she was sick? Gu Lingqing took a deep breath. These things were too far away. He didn't want to think about them for the time being. He just wanted to cherish the present. After he was done, he took Baiya's knife. Alro, you peel. Baiya stopped struggling and listened to him, peeling the chestnuts. Seeing that the water was boiling, she scooped out the pig trotters and washed the dirty things with clean water. After scooping out the dirty water in the pot, she put a little oil in the pot, increased the fire, and slightly stir-fried the pig trotters. The main thing was not to occupy the pot with the skin. Then, she added cooking wine, soy sauce, ginger, sugar, and seasoning packets. Let it simmer in the pot for 2 hours. They would definitely be late for dinner today. Fortunately, they were already late for lunch. She scooped out the rice from the other pot, washed the pot, and filled it with water. She first boiled the ribs for the same purpose, to remove the dirt. When he was done, he came back to peel the chestnuts. Are you tired? You've been busy since morning and haven't rested yet. Gu Lingqing felt sorry for her. I'm not tired. I feel very fulfilled. It's good for me to sleep at night. You know that I often have insomnia in the past. Baiya said with a smile. We won't go hunting tomorrow or dig wild vegetables in the morning. I'll ask someone to send some vegetables here. We can sleep late and have a good rest. We'll go out to hunt chestnuts in the afternoon. Then can I ask your people to bring more things here? Baiya asked. Of course. What do you want to bring? Write it on a piece of paper. I'll ask someone to bring it here tomorrow. Baiya made an okay gesture. Half an hour later, the kitchen was already very fragrant, which made people's appetite increase. It was easy to make the ribs soup. She scooped out the ribs, cleaned them, and boiled them in the water again. Then, she added ginger, cooking wine, and spices according to personal preference. However, Baiya wanted to eat the fresh ones, just like the ones from 2 years ago. So, she didn't add spices. When the ribs were soft and tender, she added matsutake mushrooms and cooked them together. When it was out of the pot, she only needed to add a little salt. She didn't even need to add MSG, it's delicious. It's as delicious as 2 years ago. Baiya ate 2 bowls of rib soup and was very satisfied. Seeing that she was happy, Gu Lingqing was also in a good mood and ate 2 more bowls of rice. She looked at the red dots on his palm and held his hand worriedly. What happened? I was in a hurry and got pricked. It's okay. I'll sleep for a while and I'll be fine tomorrow. Gu Lingqing withdrew his hand and said indifferently. Baiya felt guilty. He peeled the ribs so quickly because he wanted to help her. If she had agreed to let him do it, he wouldn't have been in such a hurry. Gu Lingqing, I'll listen to everything you say in the future. I'll do whatever you want me to do. I won't be stubborn anymore. If I really don't want to, I'll express it to you. After we analyze the pros and cons, you'll still make the decision, Baiya promised. Gu Lingqing chuckled. I've tried for so many years, but I still couldn't change your stubborn temper. Look at how distressed you are after being pricked by the chestnut. Do you want it? Baiya asked. Yes, but I still hope that you can be yourself and be happy. Don't be unhappy. If you're happy, I'll be happy, Gu Lingqing said gently. She understood. It wasn't from the time when he was strong, but from the time when they saved the pregnant woman together. They had known each other for 5 years and experienced many things. Gu Lingqing seemed to be resolute and domineering, but most of the time, he still gave in to her. Even if she made a mistake and he was angry, it was because he risked his life for her, not because of the mistake itself. Love was like a waltz. There were advances and retreats so that it could be managed well. If the other party kept giving in, one day, they would go to the edge of the cliff. I know, you're right. I'm a little full. It's not good for my stomach to sleep like this. Can we go for a walk on the beach outside? Baiya asked. It's more dangerous outside at night. Many felines have night vision, but we can't. They're much more agile at night compared to us, Gu Lingqing explained patiently. That makes sense. Gu Lingqing held her hand. After washing the dishes, I'll go for a walk with you on the rooftop. Baiya smiled. Sounds good. You can tell me about your past. It's all killing, there's nothing much to tell. Gu Lingqing didn't want to talk about it, and her eyes dimmed. She noticed that she said the wrong thing. Gu Lingqing didn't want to remember, and she didn't want to be sad. Then I'll tell you about the interesting things I saw, she immediately corrected herself. Gu Lingqing smiled. Okay. After eating, they washed the dishes together. There were still a lot of unfinished food. The weather was cold, so it wouldn't go bad, so they put it in the cupboard. Before going to the rooftop, Gu Lingqing put on a coat for Baiya, held her hand, and opened the door to the rooftop. The moon was very bright that night, and the rooftop was shining with a bright silver light. Although the sea breeze was cold, it was very comfortable when it blew on her face. She was happy and excited. She turned around, and with both hands on Gu Lingqing's chest, she looked at him with a burning gaze. The reflection of the moonlight was in her eyes. Chapter 455. Gu Lingqing hugged her shoulders, looked up at the moonlight and said softly, "Our common home." The next morning, she slept until 9 a.m. and woke up naturally. She looked to her side and realized that Gu Lingqing was not there. Baiya got up and shouted, "Gu Lingqing. Here." Gu Lingqing walked in. Baiya saw that he was there when she called for him. It was a warm feeling and she smiled. "I think I slept late." "It's okay, it's good. I've already made breakfast. Get up and eat. What do you want to bring over?" "Write it to me later and I'll get them to bring it over," Gu Lingqing said and passed the clothes to Baiya. "I'll write it now. I was too tired yesterday and didn't have time," Baiya said apologetically. "Brush your teeth and eat breakfast first. There's no rush." Okay. Baiya obediently brushed her teeth and washed her face. After breakfast, she leaned on the table and wrote. Vegetables that are drained of water. Gu Lingqing sent a message. Common spices, star anise, white button, angelica, cardamom, agarwood, pepper, angelica, cloves, licorice, etc. Gu Lingqing sent another message. Common dried food, shiitake mushrooms, moer, longan, sausages, etc. And rice. The corners of Gu Lingqing's mouth lifted. I asked them to prepare a beach bike. Bai Yi looked at Gu Lingqing and smiled. That's great. I also want salted goose and dried lamb legs. With these ingredients, we can stay here for a few months. Gu Lingqing nodded and sent all the things she wanted. Oh yeah, common medicine. Prepare more, especially anti-inflammatory drugs. They can save lives at critical times, Bai Yi reminded. Gu Lingqing smiled. I've said that. Let's go to the forest to dig for wild vegetables. I'll introduce you to some plants. Gu Lingqing stood up. Bai Yi looked at her watch. It's already 10 a.m. Can we make it in an hour? I have to come back and cook. Yeah, just strolling around. Before going out, he first fed the dog food and water. When they went out, Gu Lingqing would patiently tell her the names and functions of many plants. She suddenly remembered something. Don't forget to remind me to make honey pomelo tea today. Got it. Gu Lingqing stopped and looked ahead. This is chrysanthemum, right? Bai Yi asked. When we don't have anything to eat in the wild, we eat this. We choose the tender sprouts and eat them directly, Gu Lingqing explained. Then can we eat it by stir-frying it? Bai Yi asked. Gu Lingqing nodded. It should be edible. Let's pick it first. I'll go back and check online. Good idea. Bai Yi smiled. Soon, there would be a plane carrying food ingredients over. They had plenty of food to eat. What they were enjoying now was mainly fun. After she was done, Bai Yi looked at the time. It was almost 11 o'clock. I think we should go back. Should we pick chestnuts or go fishing in the afternoon? Let's go fishing. There are plenty of chestnuts at home. Hee, you're right. She walked in front happily. This place was not far from their house, so she recognized it. When they reached home, Gu Lingqing went back to work. She searched on Baidu and found out that there were many ways to cook chrysanthemums. They could really be eaten. She had never tried eating this before. The simplest way was to cook the tender chrysanthemum leaves, cut them into small pieces, add sesame oil, salt, and MSG, stir them into a sauce, and then eat it. Eating it could reduce heat, strengthen the body, clear the liver, and improve eyesight. The effect was quite obvious. She had not finished the pork trotters and pork rib soup from yesterday. It would be good to heat them up. She cooked for about half an hour and was ready to eat. She went to call Gu Lingqing. Perhaps he had heard her footsteps, but as soon as she walked into the hallway, he came out of the room and smiled at her. Time to eat. Bai Yi smiled and called out to him. His eyes darkened, flowing with a dark color that no one could see clearly. He nodded. While they were eating, Bai Yi noticed that Gu Lingqing kept looking at her. She was puzzled. Is there something on my face? Why do you keep looking at me? Xiaoya, no matter what happens, we'll be together, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Bai Yi nodded. Actually, I wanted to be with you 2 years ago. But I was poisoned at that time. I didn't have much time left, so I had to leave. I'm sorry. These things are in the past. We'll be together in the future. Bai Yi smiled. Got it. We'll be together in the future. Their stay on the island was a little longer than they had expected. After more than 2 months, it was already deep into winter. It did not snow on the island and the temperature was higher than on land. In the morning, Gu Lingqing would work and she would cook. In the afternoon, when he was working, she would knit clothes. Sometimes, the two of them would play games, shoot, or go hunting in the forest to pick wild fruits. At night, he would teach her fighting and self-defense skills. The days passed leisurely and contented. She never had insomnia again. Her complexion was better and she had gained a few pounds. One day, when she was still cooking, Gu Lingqing came downstairs. She saw his serious face and asked worriedly, "What's wrong?" "Xiaoya, my father is dying. I have to go back. Are you coming with me or waiting for me at home?" Gu Lingqing asked. Bai Yi's heart skipped a beat. She did not want to stay on the island alone and wait for his news. That would make her helpless and unable to do anything. She held his arm. "I'll go with you. No matter what happens, we'll bear it together. I'll always be by your side." Gu Lingqing held her hand and nodded. "Okay, the plane will arrive in an hour." There were some words that she could say if he was her patient. But he was her lover, so she could not say it. She could only accompany him, feel his emotions, and feel his heartache. "I'll prepare the meal and we'll leave after eating. When we get there, we might not even have time to eat. After all, he is your father. You have to accompany him for the rest of the journey. Take care of yourself so that you can take care of others better." "You can't not eat," Bai Yi said vaguely. She was worried that he was in a bad mood and could not take care of himself. Gu Lingqing nodded. "Okay." He let go of Bai Yi's hand and walked to the yard to light a cigarette. She stood at the door. She knew that he was in a bad mood and did not disturb him. Sometimes, it was better to be alone. She quickly cooked. She knew that she would not be back for a few days, so she only made 2 dishes. When the rice was cooking, she folded the quilt and mattress and put them in the cabinet. She also wrapped the unused ingredients and put them in the fridge on the ship. When the meal was ready, she went to look for Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing was still smoking. There were already 3 cigarette butts at his feet. Chapter 456. Gu Lingqing nodded. He put away the remaining half of the cigarette and walked towards the kitchen. Bai Yi served him the rice. He ate without saying a word, but he didn't even look at her. She knew that he was sad and understood his feelings. She didn't say anything and ate quietly. She hadn't even finished eating when she heard the roar of the engine of the plane. Gu Lingqing's body stiffened. Bai Yi held his hand and looked at him gently. No matter how bad his relationship with his father was, he was still his father. It was inevitable that he would be sad. Just like her, Xing Bachuan had treated her so badly. She still felt bitter when he died. Gu Lingqing smiled at Bai Yi. "I'm fine. Let's go." Bai Yi nodded. "I'll clean up the kitchen. I've already prepared my luggage. It's upstairs. I'll go get the luggage. It's cold outside. Wear more clothes," Gu Lingqing reminded her. Soon, the plane arrived above them and a rope ladder was lowered. Gu Lingqing let Bai Yi go up first while he protected her from behind. Fortunately, she had trained her stamina for the past 2 months, so it wasn't hard for her to climb up. It was noisy on the plane. Bai Yi looked at Gu Lingqing. He held her in his arms. She leaned against him quietly. Neither of them spoke. The plane stopped in a manner. The guards were already waiting. Gu Lingqing followed them into the house. "Young master, old master and madam are waiting for you in the room on the 2nd floor, the servant said, sounding like she was complaining. Gu Lingqing replied and walked to the 2nd floor with heavy steps. Baiya followed behind him. He appeared at the door. Song Shiyu saw him and gritted his teeth. He walked over and slapped Gu Lingqing's face. The slap was very loud. Baiya looked at Gu Lingqing with heartache. He did not utter a single sound. Song Shiyu was very emotional. I told you 2 months ago that your father couldn't make it. You didn't come back and now he's dying. What's the use of coming back now? If you hadn't angered your father, he wouldn't have fallen sick. Gu Lingqing lowered his eyes and said nothing. Does it matter if you don't speak? Is it any use? Song Shiyu pushed Gu Lingqing. He stood straight and said nothing. Song Shiyu continued to accuse him. Other than Baiya, what else did your father do to you? Didn't he treat Baiya so well? After Baiya came back, your father didn't do anything else. He had already acquiesced. But what did you do? You ignored us and didn't come back. You treated us like your enemies. Even when you saw us, you ignored us. What did we do to you? You gave up your job in the military and now you're playing around and disappearing. Why did you do this? Gu Lingqing looked at Gu Tianheng, who was lying on the sickbed. Baiya followed Gu Lingqing's gaze and looked over. The man on the sickbed was completely different from the Gu Tianheng in her mind. She remembered that Gu Tianheng was tall, strong, and very dignified at that time. Every move he made was valiant, and no one dared to resist him. He was also decisive and never soft-hearted. Everything he did was to stabilize his position. But now, he was very thin. His face was all skin and bones. He was lying on the bed with an oxygen tank inserted. He was barely breathing and waved at Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing walked towards Gu Tianheng. Song Shiyu pushed Gu Lingqing away angrily. Gu Tianheng was anxious. He knocked on the side of the bed, making a loud sound. Song Shiyu saw that Gu Tianheng wanted Gu Lingqing to go over, so she didn't stop him. She turned her face away and panted heavily. She was heartbroken, annoyed and full of complaints. Gu Lingqing walked to Gu Tianheng. Gu Tianheng held Gu Lingqing's hand. He opened his mouth and wanted to say something. But his voice was so low that it couldn't be heard at all. Gu Lingqing put her ear in front of Gu Tianheng's mouth. Song Shiyu saw that the father and son had something to say. After all, her husband was dying. She clenched her fists and turned around. She said to the others, "Go out." Baiya walked out and watched as Song Shiyu closed the door. She waited at the door and promised Gu Lingqing that no matter what happened, she would face it together. Song Shiyu noticed Baiya. She was slightly stunned. She frowned and asked, "Have you been with Lingqing all this time?" Baiya nodded. "Yes." Song Shiyu's eyes were filled with hatred. "Did you tell him not to come back?" Baiya shook her head. Song Shiyu sneered and said in a self-deprecating manner, "He didn't tell us that he had a girlfriend. I was taking care of Yen well, but because of a mistake last time, he took Yen away. He didn't even tell me where he went. He didn't want to stay in the military anymore and wanted to go abroad. He went abroad to take care of you." Baiya knew that she was angry. She understood that she was full of negative emotions now. Even the slightest thing would make her angry. People were like this. When they were in a bad mood, they shouldn't provoke them. Otherwise, they would make themselves and others unhappy. So, she didn't say anything. Song Shiyu saw it. She smiled bitterly. Her expression was uglier than crying. "See, this son of mine is more important to women than his parents. Zhou Hailan, Baiya and you. I'd rather not have him. In the past, at least I had Tianheng, but now..." Song Shiyu thought of her husband. She was about to die. She was full of sadness and her voice was choked. People were really strange. When they first met, they saw the good points of the other party. After knowing each other for a long time, the good points of the other party became the bad points of the other party. But when they were about to die, they thought of the good points of the other party. So, they felt sad and reluctant. She remembered that Song Shiyu used to be a very reasonable woman. Although she was influenced by emotions in some matters, she was lucky that she had pleaded for mercy 5 years ago. Otherwise, she would have been dead. Later on, when they got to know each other, although Song Shiyu was sharp and unkind, she was a reasonable person. But that slap was too forceful. She felt sorry for Gu Lingqing. She didn't want his relationship with his parents to be so bad. She had been through it. She knew that although Gu Lingqing didn't say it, he was actually sad. He was just used to keeping it in his heart and bearing it alone. So, 2 months ago, when Gu Lingqing knew that his father was seriously ill, he didn't tell her. He was afraid that she would be a burden. She should do something for Gu Lingqing. Mrs. Gu, I think you have some misunderstanding about Lingqing, Baiye said gently. I don't have any misunderstanding about him. It's been 2 months. If he wanted to come back, he would have come back long ago. He doesn't care about his parents at all, Song Shiyu said impulsively. Chapter 457. He can't come back. Why can't he come back? Isn't he back now? Song Shiyu didn't understand. There are some things that he doesn't want to say because he doesn't want you to worry. What happened to Xiao Yan wasn't a coincidence. It was a trap. Apart from Xiao Yan, Gu Lingqing was also set up. He almost lost his reputation and his life was in danger. He left the military area and country A because he had no choice but to exchange for peace. What he wanted was never fame and fortune, but the happiness and health of his family, Baiye said with red eyes. Song Shiyu looked at Baiye suspiciously. What do you mean? Who set up my son? Who wanted his life? It's more responsible than you think. Then tell me in simple terms. Song Shiyu raised his voice and stared at Baiye. Baiye hesitated and lowered his head. It's the worst thing to say half of it and not tell the other half. If you don't tell me, I'll ask him. If you don't tell me clearly today, I'll cut off all ties with him. He doesn't need to show up at his father's funeral. He doesn't deserve to show up. I won't care about your life and death in the future. When I die, I don't need him to burn incense on my grave, Song Shiyu said fiercely. Baiye really didn't want Gu Lingqing's parents to have a bad relationship with Gu Lingqing. He sighed and said, Do you know what happened to Xia He? Didn't they say that the mission was fake? Xia He has been acquitted and is now working in the military office of South District in City A. The country has compensated her. What does it have to do with her? Song Shiyu was confused. When Xia He was still a spy, he was captured on the first day he returned to the country. At that time, someone set up a trap for Gu Lingqing to rescue Xia He. Fortunately, Xia He knew the secret of that mission, so he survived. Otherwise, Gu Lingqing and Xia He would have been labeled as spies. But after that, Gu Lingqing offended too many people. For example, the mastermind of that mission, the person who wanted to set Gu Lingqing up, and the person who wanted to use him as a stumbling block. So, Gu Lingqing left country A to stay away from disputes. Only then could he be at peace, Baiye explained. Song Shiyu sized up Baiye in silence, digesting what Baiye had said. She had been busy with her husband's illness recently, so she didn't pay much attention to these things. She didn't pay attention to the details. Who is the mastermind? Who wants to set Gu Lingqing up, and who wants to use him as a stumbling block? Gu Lingqing doesn't want you to know. Firstly, he doesn't want you to worry. Secondly, he doesn't want you to take risks for him. So, I can't tell you. I'm sorry. Baiye lowered her eyes. Song Shiyu held Baiye's shoulder. I can't just lose my husband and my son. So, Gu Lingqing wants you to leave with him. We'll go to France. There's a quiet and peaceful place there. Although it's ordinary, we'll all be very happy, Baiye persuaded. Song Shiyu lowered her eyes, her gaze fixed. Does he really think that way, and not blame us for forcing Baiye to his death? You didn't force Baiye to his death. Just like what you said, you all tacitly agreed to it. How can you force him to his death? Gu Lingqing knows that Baiye was poisoned by Su Jiran. It has nothing to do with you. If you can forgive us and leave with us, from now on, you, Gu Lingqing, and I, Xiao Axan, can live together. Xiao Yan, we can live together, have breakfast together, have dinner together, watch movies together, and take a walk together. Baiye smiled. Song Shiyu's tears flowed down. She looked at the door and thought of Gu Tianheng's life. Then, she thought of her own life and made up her mind. Okay, after Tianheng's funeral is over, I'll leave with you. Baiye was emotional. She held Song Shiyu's hand. Mom, I'll be filial to you. Song Shiyu was a little embarrassed. She wiped her tears. Good girl. Baiye looked at the door. Gu Lingqing would be very happy to know that his mother was willing to leave with them. 10 minutes later, Gu Lingqing walked out. He looked at Baiye with a deep gaze. His eyes were as deep as the vast universe, but there was a hint of sadness and lies in them. Song Shiyu saw something was wrong. She rushed into the room. Baiye heard Song Shiyu's wailing. She felt bitter in her heart. She walked in front of Gu Lingqing and held his hand. You're lucky to have seen him for the last time, right? I know you're sad. If you're sad, you can cry. No one will laugh at you. Gu Lingqing looked at Baiye. His breathing was heavy. He touched Baiye's head. He looked like he wanted to say something. She hugged Gu Lingqing. She used her actions to tell him that she was there. She was accompanying him and facing the sadness together. Xiaoye, Gu Lingqing called. His voice sounded weak. Baiye looked at Gu Lingqing. I'm sorry, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. He looked at her with pity and apology. Baiye had a bad feeling. She shook her head. She didn't know what Gu Lingqing was going to say. But when she heard him say sorry, she felt her heart ache. What did he need to say sorry to her? Didn't his father just die? Gu Lingqing's voice was choked. I can't take you with me. I need to stay. I need to shoulder the responsibility that I should bear. I won't run away. I won't hide. Baiye shook her head. The difference in her heart was huge. She had just convinced his mother to go with them. Why? Gu Lingqing smiled bitterly. His eyes were misty, but he didn't stay. I have something that I have to do. Xiaoye, you go first. I won't go. I'll be wherever you are. We said before that we'll be together forever. No matter what happens, we'll never be separated. Have you forgotten about that? Didn't you say that you'll listen to me in the future? I want you to go to Bordeaux. Take care of Xiao Yan. Wait for me to come back. Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Didn't you say that I'll do what I want? Gu Lingqing, you're lying. You don't keep your word. You're always like this. Baiye cried and complained. I won't go. If we go, we'll go together. If you choose to fight, I'll be with you. If you choose to live a comfortable life, I'll be with you. We promise that even if we die, we'll die together. Gu Lingqing wiped the tears off Bai Ye's face. But she had too many tears. She wiped them off and then left them. She couldn't stand the thought of being separated. They had been separated for too long. 3 years and then 2 years. All of their time was spent on being separated. This time, she didn't want to be separated from him anymore. Bai Ye held Gu Lingqing's hand. She cried and begged, "Lingqing, we won't be separated. No matter what happens, even if the sky falls, we won't be separated. Don't chase me away. Even if you chase me away, I'll run back. You know, I'll do a lot of things secretly that you don't want me to do." Chapter 458. Bai Ye cried and her eyes turned red. Gu Lingqing's eyes were red too. He compromised and caressed her head. "All right, we won't be separated. The first thing I want to do is to send Shen Ao and Xing Dongxing to the military court." Shen Ao. Shen Yan's father. Bai Ye was shocked. Gu Lingqing nodded. "Are you afraid?" "With you around, I'm not afraid of anything," Bai Ye said with certainty. "With you around, I'm not afraid of anything," Gu Lingqing said meaningfully. Regardless of whether they were afraid or not, they had to be together. The atmosphere in the Gu family's manor was extremely tense. Song Shiyu invited the monk over. They didn't know much about martial arts, so they listened to the monk's arrangements. Bai Ye thought of the master of ancient spells and looked at Gu Lingqing. "Do you think the master of ancient spells will come if we invite him?" "I don't believe in these things," Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. There was a strange look in his eyes. Bai Ye held his hand. "Did he say something bad to you?" "I don't believe it. Let's not talk about this. I'm going to keep vigil tonight. You don't have to accompany me. Rest well, my mom still needs you to take care of her." Gu Lingqing changed the topic. "I can't sleep alone. I'll accompany you guys. Your mom will definitely keep vigil too. If I don't, how can I take care of her?" Bai Ye said gently. Gu Lingqing sighed. "You're always so stubborn. I know myself too well. I know that you care about me, but I won't be able to sleep. Since I can't sleep on the bed, I might as well stay with you guys," Bai Ye said softly. "All right." The monk came over. Gu Lingqing listened to the monk and carried Gu Tianheng, who had already changed into a new set of clothes, into the crystal coffin and covered his face with a piece of white cloth. Bai Ye was a little sad. 2 years ago, Gu Tianheng was still so strong and healthy. In just 2 short years, he was already lying in a coffin. Very soon, he would be sent to the crematorium. His flesh and blood would be burned, leaving only ashes and bones. Very soon, he would disappear from people's memories and become nothing. No. He had put in so much effort in the past, but in the end, it was all for naught. Life is so fragile. She held Gu Lingqing's hand. Gu Lingqing's hand was colder than hers. She wanted to give all her warmth to him. The morning hall was set up. Zhang Xingyu, Ling Shuai, and the people that Ling Shuai brought over made phone calls to inform everyone that Gu Tianheng had passed away. Gu family, politics, and business. Zhang Xingyu and the other 4 people called until 10 p.m. They had a meal at Gu Lingqing's house and stayed over at Gu Lingqing's house. At night, Gu Lingqing, Song Shiyu, and Bai Ye kept a vigil together. They placed the Simmons cushion on the floor and the 3 of them sat on it, leaning against the sofa. Song Shiyu looked at the coffin, feeling very sad. There was a photo of Gu Tianheng, an oil lamp, and a fruit offering. Paper money was burning in the stove in front of the coffin from time to time, and music such as the Guanyin Bodhisattva's vow hymn, Great Compassion Mantra, Universal Hymn, Repentance, Daming Mantra, and Prajnaparamita Sutra were playing on a loop. He devoted his whole life to politics. In the end, he was still burdened by politics. It was his wish to be the president, but he was too hot-tempered and made enemies everywhere. In the end, he didn't even have the right to run for president. The election 2 years ago dealt a huge blow to him. In the end, he was depressed. Song Shiyu sighed. Everyone has a different outlook on life. Some people love money, some love sex, some love power, and some love all living things. As long as he feels that he is walking the right path in this life, it's fine. After all, he doesn't live for others to see, but for his own feelings. Even if he doesn't succeed, he has already done his best. I tried my best, Baiya comforted him. Song Shiyu chuckled and held Baiya's hand. You're really understanding. Now I know why Lingqing likes you. Baiya was touched to see that she had gained Song Shiyu's approval. In the past, no matter how hard she tried, she was always rejected by others. Gu Lingqing was pleased to see that the two of them had a good relationship. Xiaoya, you can stay here from now on and accompany me. Okay, Baiya replied. What do you mean stay here? Aren't you going to leave? Song Shiyu looked at Baiya in surprise. Lingqing has decided to stay and face things, Baiya explained. Face what? Song Shiyu looked at Gu Lingqing anxiously. Gu Lingqing looked at Song Shiyu deeply. I still have some things that I have to do. Mom, do you still remember your brother? Song Shiyu was stunned. Why did you mention him? Dad told me some things. I heard that he was the most likely candidate to become the president. He was talented and had outstanding achievements. No matter where he was, he would do well. He was also the youngest state governor, right? Gu Lingqing asked. His gaze was calm and distant. Song Shiyu lowered her eyes. Her eyes were red. My brother was really talented. He was admitted to the University of Political Science and Law at the age of 13. He graduated with a PhD at the age of 18. He was sent to the poorest town. In the first year, he attracted investors. The businessmen built roads. In the third year, the poorest town became the richest town. In his fourth year, he went to work in the city. The city was mostly mountainous. He developed tourism and cash crops. Within 4 years, the city became a world-famous tourist destination. He was promoted from mayor to governor. Over there, he was only 26 years old. When he was the governor, he developed agriculture, attracted investors again, repaired roads, built an airport, and engaged in foreign trade. In 4 years, the national output quadrupled. He also used his own assets to open many free schools and scholarships. In the end, when he was 30 years old, when I was 2, I was murdered. Murder. Baiya was shocked. The only blemish on his life was that he had a mistress outside. This mistress was someone he met in the poorest village after he graduated from school at the age of 18. I've seen the little girl before. She's 2 years older than him. She's very pretty. She has a pair of big, commanding eyes that are full of spirit. Because her family was poor, she didn't go to school since she was young, but she taught herself. She's fluent in English and German. However, my parents didn't agree and forced my brother to marry his friend's daughter. Later, the introduction of foreign investment, development of foreign trade, and the establishment of free schools were all done by the girl. Chapter 459. Baiya was a little sad. She thought of Xiao Yan and her own past. The scariest thing in the world was not the beast but the human heart. The Tangqian village massacre case was a case of family extermination. Even the beasts were not willing to hurt humans after they were full, but the devil would never be satisfied. Bai Ye's heart was heavy. She asked, didn't they investigate this matter? 17 people because it's a big case. My family and my sister-in-law's family could not afford to lose face. They just said that my brother fell from the mountain and died when he was doing an inspection. My brother won the posthumous title, so his case was left unsettled. My parents and my sister-in-law's family did not dare to investigate, afraid that it would affect our family's reputation. I didn't expect Tianhang to tell Ling Qing about this. Tianhang was very close to my brother. They grew up together and were good brothers. As Song Shiyu spoke, she became too sad. She thought of her brother and her husband. She was so sad that she started crying. Bai Ye handed her a tissue. Gu Lingqing's eyes became misty. He lowered his eyes, got up and walked outside. Bai Ye looked at Gu Lingqing. Mom, I'll go and see him. Song Shiyu nodded. Bai Ye stood up and went outside to look for Gu Lingqing. He stood under the big locust tree, smoking. The cigarette but flickered. He exhaled in disgust, but he still felt uncomfortable. He took another deep puff. Bai Ye walked to his side. Xing Dongqing and Shen Ao did it, right? Gu Lingqing looked at Bai Ye. His eyes were red too. He took another puff and exhaled in another direction. Bai Ye stood behind Gu Lingqing and hugged him. She leaned her face against his sadness. You were always by my side when I was in despair. Now, I will always be by your side. I'm not Gu Tianhang's child, Gu Lingqing said hoarsely. How could that be? You are quite similar to your mother. After Bai Ye said that, a thought flashed through his mind and he instantly understood. He was not the child of Song Shiyu and Gu Tianhang. You're the child of your mother's brother. Gu Lingqing looked at Bai Ye. To be exact, I'm the child of my uncle and the woman who was killed. What my mom didn't know was that my dad was actually there with my uncle, but it was a party at that woman's house, and my dad knew better than to go. When he went, he found out that everyone was dead except for me. Since I was only 1 month old and I had a cold, the woman didn't bring me to the party and left me to the nanny to take care of. The year my mother gave birth to the child only weighed about 3 kilograms. After a few days in the greenhouse, she died of heart failure. My father was afraid that my mother would be sad, and I also needed someone to take care of me, so he used the excuse that the child needed to recuperate and took me back a few months later. Bai Ye understood. So, Song Shiyu didn't know that you're not her child. I didn't want her to know for the rest of my life. Now I know why my father always went against Shen Ao and Xing Dongqing, why he devoted himself to politics, and why he spent so much effort on me. In the end, it was also because of me that he died of depression, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. I'm sorry, Bai Ye apologized. Gu Lingqing was like this because of her. It has nothing to do with you, and it's not what you think. In the past, we were too kind to our enemies, and that's why we were so passive again and again. In the future, I won't do it anymore. I'll return the company to my mom, and I'll go back to the military, Gu Lingqing said to Bai Ye. Alright, but we have to plan everything in advance. Our opponents are very strong. Su Zheng, Shen Ao, Xing Dongqing, and there might be other hidden dangers. Also, Su Changhao is your friend. Bai Ye wanted to say something, but she didn't finish her sentence. As long as Su Zheng doesn't attack again, I'll let him go. But if he attacks again, I won't let him go. Bai Ye understood that he still cared about their brotherhood. Gu Lingqing was too loyal. Was it a good thing or a bad thing? Let's go in, or your mother will be worried. I'll do my best to help you. Don't forget, my psychology and hypnosis are among the top 10 in the industry. It's just that I haven't used them for a long time, and I'll be fine after I consolidate them. Bai Yi smiled and comforted Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing smiled faintly. He just didn't want her to worry. They went back, and the three of them took turns to keep watch. In fact, they only slept for 2 to 3 hours. Early in the morning, the monk came to perform the ritual. He set up a big shed in the manor, and the chefs also came with ingredients and cutlery. Gu Lingqing and Song Shiyu both wore white linen clothes and a white band around their foreheads. They knelt on the right side of the altar. Originally, Bai Yi wanted to kneel, but after all, she and Gu Lingqing hadn't had a banquet, and her stomach was aching, so she didn't kneel. Go back to your room and rest. Don't distract me. I'll ask Zhang Xingyu to call a doctor to check on you later. Gu Lingqing said softly. I'm fine. Maybe my aunt is coming. Every time before she comes, she'll be like this, Bai Yi said softly. Her aunt hadn't come for a few months. It was really not the right time for it to come. I'll pour you a glass of brown sugar water. After you drink it, go and rest. Be good, I'll need a family gift later, so I can't come out to see you. Gu Lingqing said. Bai Yi didn't want Gu Lingqing to worry, so she nodded. As soon as she entered the room, she heard the monk shouting, "Guests." She subconsciously walked to the corridor and looked down. The first to arrive was Su Zheng. He came with his wife and children to offer incense. Bai Yi saw the sad expression on Su Zheng's face. Why didn't he think of the deep friendship between him and Gu Tianhang when he was scheming against Gu Lingqing? She suddenly felt disgusted, so she turned around and went back to her room. My condolences. Su Changhao said to Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing nodded and didn't say anything. Those who had paid their respects were brought to the shed by the novice monk to rest. After 8 o'clock, people came one after another. Bai Yi was drowsy and fell asleep. After some time, she felt someone opening the door and opened her eyes. Zhang Xingyu came with a Chinese doctor. Miss Wu, Mr. Gu is worried about you. Please cooperate with him. Zhang Xingyu said with a smile. Bai Yi smiled and nodded. All right. The old Chinese doctor sat in front of Bai Yi and looked at Bai Yi's eyes. Stick out your tongue. Bai Yi stuck out her tongue. The old Chinese doctor looked at her with a solemn expression. My period is irregular and I haven't come for a few months. Every time I come, it hurts a lot, Bai Yi explained. The old Chinese doctor felt Bai Yi's pulse and frowned. What's wrong? Bai Yi asked. Chapter 460. You're having a baby. Zhang Xingyu was happy for them. Bai Yi was very calm. Shiniyan had said that she was pregnant and her vitals were not normal. I'll go to the hospital after I'm well rested. Take a blood test first. I'll prepare some Chinese medicine and you'll be able to drink it in the afternoon, the Chinese doctor said. He opened the medicine box and took out something that looked like a pen. Finger. Bai Yi knew that these people were being responsible for her. She did not struggle and passed her left index finger to the Chinese doctor. The Chinese doctor took the pen and pressed it on Bai Yi's finger. It did not hurt. He saw that her blood level was normal and passed it to Zhang Xingyu. Go to the hospital for a test. Okay. Zhang Xingyu went immediately. The Chinese doctor left the room without saying a word. Her words silenced the room. She was in a daze and was about to fall asleep again. She saw Gu Lingqing coming in from the door worriedly and placed his hand on her stomach. The doctor said you're pregnant. Bai Yi shook her head. I don't think so. It was the same for me the last time. I went to the hospital for a checkup but the hormones in my body are a little messed up. Maybe it's because I took too much medicine. I didn't vomit or feel nauseous. Don't forget, I thought I was an obstetrician. You have to be careful when your stomach hurts. I'll go down to entertain the guests later. I'll get someone to bring the food up. Don't go down to eat and rest well, okay? Gu Lingqing reminded her. Bai Ye nodded. Not long after, Ling Shuang's lunch was delivered. Bai Ye did not have much of an appetite. She ate a little and her stomach hurt badly. She lay back on the bed and closed her eyes, thinking about how to deal with Xing Dongqing and Shenao. The door was pushed open again. 2 soldiers brought the ultrasound machine in. Bai Ye was confused. What are you doing? Miss Wu, the results are out. You're pregnant and it's estimated to be 1.5 months. For safety, Mr. Gu asked me to borrow the machine to do the ultrasound, Zhang Xingyu said. Bai Ye, thinking about it, it made sense. It was always better to be more cautious. Let me drink more water, said Bai Ye. Zhang Xingyu immediately poured a glass of warm water for Bai Ye. She gulped down a glass of water. Wait for 15 minutes. You can leave now. Oh. Zhang Xingyu came to his senses and led the soldiers out of the room. Only one doctor remained. Bai Ye looked at the gynecologist in the white coat and smiled. She recalled her life as a gynecologist 5 years ago. She missed Lu Shuang. 15 minutes later, the gynecologist performed an ultrasound on Bai Ye. Bai Ye looked at the screen and was slightly stunned. She understood that there was a 1 centimeter long embryo. Other than the embryo, there was also a 3 centimeter long blister. No wonder she had a stomach ache and thought that her period was coming. She was actually, really, pregnant. Congratulations, you are pregnant. Don't worry about this blister, it will slowly disappear, the doctor said to Bai Ye. She placed her hand on her stomach. She was actually, really, pregnant again. She was pregnant with Gu Lingqing's child again. Bai Ye grinned. She was afraid that she had seen wrongly, so she stared at the screen for a while and smiled. This was the best gift in her difficult situation. The warmest existence made her feel the loneliness of death and see the joy of life again. However, you have to rest more. You can't work too hard. It's best to stay in bed. You'll be fine after 3 months, the gynecologist said with a smile. Thank you. This is my job. The gynecologist smiled and left. The old Chinese doctor came in with a bowl of medicine and glanced at the screen. The gynecologist took a picture. The embryo and the blister could be seen. He handed the medicine to Bai Ye and said confidently, "Drink it. Drink it for 3 days and the blister will disappear." Thank you. Bai Ye took the bowl. She smelled it and roughly knew what it was. She gulped down the medicine and frowned. It was bitter, but for the child, this bit of bitterness was nothing. The door was pushed open again. Gu Lingqing came in excitedly with a smile on his face. This was the brightest smile he had seen in the past few days. He placed his palm on her stomach. We are really pregnant. Bai Ye smiled as well. She held Gu Lingqing's arm and nodded with certainty. We are really pregnant. Is it a boy or a girl? Gu Lingqing blurted out. I can't tell yet. Oh, right, we just got it. Gu Lingqing's gaze was on the screen. He stood up and brushed his finger over it. Is this it? That's not it. That's a blister. The one at the bottom, the one that looks like a little seahorse, is it? Bai Ye reminded. Gu Lingqing's gaze moved down and he saw it at the bottom. His lips curled up slightly. He brushed his finger over the picture and looked at Bai Ye. Bai Ye smiled. He walked to Bai Ye, lowered his head, and kissed Bai Ye's forehead. He praised, "You are amazing." She raised her head and kissed Gu Lingqing on the lips. She said gratefully, "You are amazing too. But I was a little careless. If I knew you were pregnant, I wouldn't have let you stay up late yesterday. In the end, your stomach is hurting now." Although Gu Lingqing was criticizing him, he blamed himself more. "I used to vomit or feel nauseous. Maybe I was too happy on the island, or maybe my body is better now, so I didn't notice." "I'm sorry," Baiya said apologetically. Gu Lingqing rubbed her head. "It's not too late to take care of yourself. You should rest first. I'll accompany you when I'm done." "Oh yeah, you want a family gift now, right? Hurry up and go. Your mother needs you too." "I'll just lie on the bed and won't go anywhere," Baiya said gently. Gu Lingqing kissed Baiya's forehead again, turned off the machine, and went out. Just as Baiya lay down, Song Shiyu came in. "Mom." Baiya wanted to get up. "Hurry up and lie down," Song Shiyu said worriedly. Her gaze was on her stomach. Her eyes were filled with tears, and she smiled. "If only you came back a few days earlier. You could let Tianheng know the good news before you left. Dad's spirit in heaven will see it. He will bless us," Baiya comforted Song Shiyu. Song Shiyu wiped her tears. "You really know how to talk. Have you given it a name?" Baiya shook her head. "It came so suddenly. I didn't know about it before, so I'm not ready yet." Song Shiyu went forward and held Baiya's hand. "You married into my family, but I didn't even give you a gift." She took out the emerald diamond ring on her finger and put it on Baiya's ring finger. "This is a small token of my appreciation. You must take it. This is your and Dad's diamond ring." "I can't accept it." Baiya wanted to take the ring off. Chapter 461. Okay. Baiya did not refuse. In the future, when Gu Lingqing solved his problem, she would have to take care of 3 children and would not have the energy and time. It would be best if Song Shiyu could take care of them. Gu Lingqing was such a good person. Who said that Song Shiyu did not play a part in it? Song Shiyu came to see Baiya and went out. After all, there were still many guests waiting for her outside. It was very thoughtful of her to come to see her at this time and give her the ring. In the past, too many things had happened between them. There were too many things that they had to do. Otherwise, they would have a good mother-in-law and daughter-in-law relationship. It was already 10 p.m. when Gu Lingqing and Song Shiyu sent all the guests away. They still had to keep watch tonight. Gu Lingqing came to see her a few times. She knew that what she should do now was to take care of her body and not let others worry, so she did not accompany him. It was an unusual day. She was in a daze at night, sleeping and waking up. Sometimes when she opened her eyes, she would see Gu Lingqing there. Every time, he would look at her gently. "Sleep well, I'm here." She knew that he would always be there, but her heart ached for him. She would not be able to sleep well again tonight. The next day, they sent Gu Tianheng to the crematorium in the morning. Many guests went to see him off. After the cremation, they sent him to the cemetery of martyrs. They treated the guests to lunch at noon. When they were done, it was already 3 p.m. Gu Lingqing went to the room to see Baiya. He had not slept for the past 3 days. She held his hand. "Mom is fine. Is she okay?" Gu Lingqing nodded. "You should sleep too. You feel very tired." Gu Lingqing lifted the blanket and lay down beside Baiya. He placed his hand on her stomach and recalled, "I was very rebellious when I was young. I left my parents to study abroad because I did not want them to care too much about me. After I graduated from university, my father wanted me to work in the Ministry of Politics and Law. I was unwilling and insisted on joining the army. He asked me to run for president, but I was unwilling. I contacted Shiniyan privately and pushed the son of my enemy to be the president. My father was so angry that he fell ill. I blamed him for being heartless, but in the end, I was the one in the wrong. The ignorant are not guilty. Don't blame yourself too much. You didn't know about these things. If you knew, you wouldn't have done anything. Baya comforted him. She put her hand on the back of his hand and said with certainty, I believe our child will be proud of you. Gu Lingqing responded in a deep voice. Go to sleep. I will, too, Baya said gently. Gu Lingqing closed his eyes and soon fell asleep. She lay quietly beside him. She had let her imagination run wild when she was lying on the bed. Tang Dongsheng and Shen Ao were in cahoots. It would not be easy to overthrow them. The key was that Tang Dongsheng was the leader of that secret organization, so he was very cautious in his actions. Who knew how many dirty things his dark organization had done? She remembered that Shiniyan was studying the virus. Could it be that the virus was one of the things that Tang Dongqing asked Su Jiran to do? Su Jiran knew most of Tang Dongqing's secrets. The best way was to start with Su Jiran, but, perhaps, Gu Lingqing did not want her to have anything to do with Su Jiran. She had their child now, so she could not risk her life like before. She wanted to be with them, so she had to think about it carefully. Unknowingly, it was time for dinner. After knocking on the door, the maid thought for a while and opened the door. Baya was afraid that she would wake Gu Lingqing up, so she immediately put her finger on her mouth and signaled the maid to be quiet. She got up quietly. Gu Lingqing held her hand and opened his eyes. Because he did not sleep enough, his eyes were bloodshot. I'm going out for dinner. Do you want to eat or sleep first? Baya asked gently. Gu Lingqing sat up and looked at her. You have to eat dinner anyway. You can eat in the room, I'll accompany you. It's not good to eat in the room. The medicine from the old Chinese doctor you found last time was not bad. I took it and now my stomach doesn't hurt anymore. I can still walk around. Moreover, if you accompany me, Mom will be alone. She just lost her husband. Even if she doesn't say it, she must be feeling very down. If we accompany her, she will feel better. Baya got off the bed. Gu Lingqing threw the clothes to her. Put them on, don't catch a cold. Okay. You should wear more clothes too. It's cold when you just got up from bed, Baya said. She put on the coat that Gu Lingqing threw to her. He went to the bathroom to brush his teeth and wash up. When he came out, he did not put on his clothes. He was used to it. He held Baya's hand and went out. Song Shiyu was standing at the door looking at them. When she saw them coming out, she smiled and said kindly, It's time to eat, Xiao Nian. Are you feeling better now? Baya nodded. Much better, thank you, Mom. That's good. Let's eat. Song Shiyu walked in front. The maids served the dishes. No one said a word. They were afraid that the atmosphere would suddenly become quiet. However, the feeling of trying to find something to talk about was quite awkward. Gu Lingqing ate first and put down his chopsticks. Baya put down her chopsticks too. Soon after, Song Shiyu also put down her chopsticks. The three of them were very polite. After all, they had just started to integrate into life and were not used to it. Mom, Xiao Nian and I will be living here for the next few days. Sorry to trouble you, Gu Lingqing said first. Don't mention it. I like that you guys are living here and I like my daughter-in-law too. Song Shiyu smiled at Baya. Baya returned a smile. Gu Lingqing was very pleased. I might have to trouble you with the Gu Corporation too. Song Shiyu paused and looked at Gu Lingqing. Why? You're doing quite well. In the 2 years that you took over, your performance didn't drop. Instead, it increased. Baiye guessed that Gu Lingqing was going to return to the military to fight against the two big shots. First, she had to be in charge. I'm going back to the military to do what I'm supposed to do, Gu Lingqing said. All right. Anyway, don't worry about the company. I'm here. Xiao Nian, don't worry too. With me around, you just have to keep moving forward, Song Shiyu said in support. Thank you, Mom. After the meal, Gu Lingqing and Baiye held hands and took a walk in the manor. If your stomach doesn't feel well, you have to tell us immediately, Gu Lingqing said worriedly. Baiye smiled at Gu Lingqing. Don't forget that I used to be an obstetrician. I know what to do. Appropriate exercise is better for the fetus. But don't stay outdoors for too long. It's cold now. Gu Lingqing tightened his grip on her hand. Gu Lingqing, how are you going to deal with Xing Dongqing? Baiye returned to the main topic. I've thought about it. In fact, all his weaknesses are in the organization. If my people get into the organization, it'll be much easier to find evidence against him, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. How are you going to get your people in? Xing Dongqing is a very cautious person. Chapter 462. Cherishing talents, especially cherishing talents, and it's all because of you, Gu Lingqing said meaningfully. Because of me? What do you mean? Baiye didn't understand. Do you remember when they tried to assassinate Zhou Hailan? Gu Lingqing asked in a low voice. Baiye nodded. I remember. They first sent 10 people, and then another 10 people. 10 of them died. The people from the dark shadow took off their masks and took photos. These people are all talents from all over the world. Moreover, they are all dead. Men of sacrifice. What kind of weakness is that? I've already found a few geniuses and asked them to commit crimes in various places. They will be arrested. Xing Dongqing is in need of manpower now, so he will probably look for them or set them up, Gu Lingqing guessed. The people who tried to assassinate your father have been around for more than 30 years. Where are they now? According to Xing Dongqing's rules, those people should be able to find out who they are, right? Gu Lingqing shook his head. They can't find out. At that time, Xing Dongqing wasn't in power. I don't know if there were such rules. Moreover, the internet wasn't as developed as it is now. Even if someone died, it wouldn't be recorded so quickly and effectively. Then can we guess who is working for Xing Dongqing? Baiye asked. We can find out a little. But they are already Xing Dongqing's people. It's more difficult to get them to work for us, Gu Lingqing analyzed. How would we know if we don't try? As long as one of them is willing to help us, Xing Dongqing is dead. Maybe we can even find out more about their weaknesses. Leave this to me, Baiye said. Gu Lingqing couldn't bear to let her worry, let alone let her rush to the front lines. I will get someone to do it. No one is more suitable than me. No one is more suitable than me. Don't forget what I do for a living. I didn't learn psychology for nothing. The military and the public security system both asked me for help. What does this mean? I'm more capable, and I'm loyal to you, right? Baiye recommended himself. Gu Lingqing placed his hand on her abdomen. The most important thing for you now is to nurture the fetus. After 3 months, I'll be like a normal person. I'll take it slow. Before I do it, I'll do my homework. Besides, only you and I know that you're not Gu Tianhang's child. Xing Dongqing won't know, so he won't know our motive, right? Baiye tried. convince Gu Lingqing. He was really afraid that she would take matters into her own hands. I understand. I'll let you do this, but you have to tell me before you do anything. We'll do it after we plan it in detail. Bai Ye smiled and kissed Gu Lingqing on the cheek. Thank you, hubby. Let's go back. We've been out for a while. He took off his gloves and held her face. He sighed and said helplessly, my face is frozen. It's frozen, Bai Ye said jokingly. Go back and soak your feet. Don't catch a cold. He put on his gloves and held her hand as they walked back. Tomorrow, I'll see Shen Yan and tell him about returning to the military. I told Shen Yan that we're going to leave. If you suddenly want to go to the military, Shen Yan will probably be suspicious. After all, he's even more cautious than Xing Dongqing, Bai Ye said worriedly. It's okay. My father's death is a major change. You having a child is also a major change. He'll be suspicious, but he can understand. Bai Ye nodded. She thought about it and agreed. When they returned to the house, the old Chinese doctor was already there. He handed Bai Ye the decoction that he had brewed the whole night. Bai Ye picked it up obediently and gulped it down. It was really bitter. Gu Lingqing peeled a piece of candy and put it next to Bai Ye's mouth. When Bai Ye put it in her mouth, her heart was filled with sweetness. I'll come over tomorrow morning to check Madam's pulse. If it's back to normal, I'll stop the medicine. After all, no matter how good the medicine is, it's still poisonous, the old Chinese doctor said indifferently. Thank you, doctor, Bai Ye said politely. Okay. The old Chinese doctor was a proud man. He didn't say much and turned to leave. Lingqing, he's old. Get someone to send him off, Bai Ye said. He lives here. After my father fell ill, he came to my house. Now, he's our family doctor, Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. Bai Ye looked at him strangely and didn't say anything. You're back. The hot water is ready. Who's going to shower first? Song Shiyu asked. Gu Lingqing looked at Bai Ye. You go first. Okay. Thank you, Mom. Song Shiyu smiled. Silly child, you're welcome. Tell me what you like to eat and I'll get Sister Wang to cook it. If you don't like it, I'll hire a chef. It's okay. Sister Wang's cooking is pretty good. That's good. Song Shiyu turned around and went back to her room. Bai Ye went to shower too. When she came out, Gu Lingqing was already asleep on the sofa. She frowned slightly. Sometimes, she accepted Gu Lingqing's kindness so naturally that she forgot that he was very tired today. He shouldn't have gone for a walk with them. Moreover, he should have been the first to shower because he was too tired. He was so tired that she couldn't bear to wake him up. Lingqing, go to bed, Bai Ye said gently. Gu Lingqing opened his eyes. I'll shower first. Go ahead. I'll get you some clothes. After Bai Ye brought the clothes to Gu Lingqing, she muted the phone, hoping that it wouldn't wake him up. After Gu Lingqing showered, he fell asleep on the bed. She gently looked at him sleeping soundly, and the corners of her mouth turned up. She turned off the lights and slept with him. Song Shiyu knew that Gu Lingqing was very tired, so she told Sister Wang not to disturb him during breakfast and let Gu Lingqing sleep until he woke up naturally. When he woke up, Bai Ye was already awake. She lay quietly next to him. When she saw him open his eyes, she smiled and greeted him. Good morning, father of the child. Gu Lingqing smiled too. Good morning, mother of the child. Bai Ye got up. I'll brush my teeth first. Gu Lingqing let her go and entered the bathroom behind her. When he entered, he realized that Bai Ye had squeezed the toothpaste for him, just like how he did it for her in the past. Gu Lingqing's smile widened. He still remembered when they first met. She was drunk and he brought her back to the military. She was very uncomfortable and repulsed by him. Now, she was his lovely wife. Gu Lingqing picked up the toothbrush and brushed his teeth with her. They looked at each other and picked up the cup together. They rinsed their mouths and spat out the water. Bai Ye went out and picked up the phone on the bedside table. She saw that there was a call from Shen Yin, but she didn't receive it. Chapter 463. You're not leaving, right? Shen Yin went straight to the point. Yes, too many things have happened recently. Gu Lingqing's father passed away. Some responsibilities can't be avoided, Bai Ye said ambiguously. Shen Yin smiled. Now you finally know that some responsibilities can't be avoided. Just like me, why do I have to be the president? If I don't be the president, my family will be in danger. After all, my father has made so many enemies. I need to protect them. Bai Ye was silent. She didn't know why Shen Yin told her these things. Did he know their purpose and started to warn her, or, why are you telling me this? Bai Ye was suspicious. I love Lu Shuang and I love my family. I can't satisfy both of them now. But after a few years, when I stabilize the political power, I can marry her, Shen Yin said in a deep voice. So, this was his purpose. Shen Yin, forget it. If you marry her, the political power won't be stable. You know her character. She's not suitable to be the president's wife. Plus, you killed her mother. She won't forgive you. I guess she won't forgive me either. Why are you lying to yourself? Bai Ye said coldly. My current wife and I have no feelings for each other. She has her family's honor to protect, and I have my family's honor to protect. As long as I help her protect her family's honor, she will promise to disappear without a trace, and I will be able to marry Lu Shuang fair and square. I don't love her. I won't even touch her. She doesn't need to waste her youth on me. Why are you telling me this? Bai Ye didn't understand. I want you to tell me where she is. Shen Yin told her the real purpose of the call. I don't know where she is. I know. You have a way to find her, right? Shen Yin said in a deep voice. I can't find her. Okay, I'm going out for breakfast. I'm sorry. You should know my health condition. I'm hanging up. Bai Ye hung up before Shen Yin could say anything. Gu Lingqing stood behind her. Luckily, Lu Shuang doesn't love Shen Yin. Otherwise, you'll be in a difficult position. Bai Ye shrugged. Shen Yin probably doesn't know what his father did. Otherwise, he wouldn't have called me and told me that he did it to protect his family. What do you think? Some things, the fewer people who know, the better. I'm 5 years older than Shen Yin. When my father was murdered, he wasn't even born yet. Indeed, he wouldn't know. If Shen Yin knew what his father did, do you think he would still help his father? Bai Ye asked. It's hard to say. In fact, Shen Yin probably knows that his father's background is not so clean. Before taking down Shen Ao, he has to take down Xing Dongqing first. No one can become fat in one go, Gu Lingqing said rationally. Okay. Bai Ye nodded. Let's go for breakfast. I'm a little hungry. Gu Lingqing scratched her nose. Let's go. Wait for me at home today. I miss my life on the island, Bai Ye said casually. You're pregnant now and there's no doctor there. What if something happens? Gu Lingqing was worried. Bai Ye thought about it. If she and Gu Lingqing went out for a walk and met a pack of wolves, she wouldn't be able to run. It would be inconvenient. Let's talk about it after I give birth. Gu Lingqing smiled and held her hand as they went out. Song Shiyu had already woken up. When she saw them coming out, she smiled and said, Wang Sao, heat up breakfast for young master and young mistress. Okay. Wang Sao went into the kitchen diligently. Mom, I have something to tell you in private, Baiya said softly. Oh, okay. Come to my room. Song Shiyu smiled and walked into her room first. Gu Lingqing held Baiya's hand tightly and then let go. He roughly knew what Baiya was going to say. Baiya walked into Song Shiyu's room and closed the door. She took a deep breath and said, I've thought about it. I don't want to hide something from you, but I hope you can keep it a secret. What is it? Song Shiyu was a little nervous. Mom, my name is Wu Nian now, but my previous name was Baiya, Baiya said honestly. She was worried that one day, when Song Shiyu found out, she would think too much. It was better to be honest. Song Shiyu was stunned for a moment. She looked at Baiya and paused for 15 seconds. I should have thought of it. I'm sorry. Song Shiyu held Baiya's hand. 5 years ago, when I first met you, you said those words to me. I knew that you were a good girl with a pure heart and an extremely intelligent heart. It's just that because I hurt you, I didn't dare to accept you. But in fact, I accepted you 2 years ago. Do you know where you have been these 2 years? Without you, Lingqing was in a lot of pain. He almost drank himself to death. I know that he did it on purpose. He thought that you were dead and wanted to go to another world to be with you. Baiya's heart ached. She explained simply, these 2 years, I've been treating my illness. My life was hanging by a thread every day. But just like that, I survived and came back. Song Shiyu patted Baiya's hand. Good girl, you've suffered. I still owe you an apology. I'm sorry that Tianhang and I hurt you for our own benefit. I understand. I've never blamed you. If I put myself in your shoes, I might have done the same for my child. Song Shiyu looked at Baiya's pinky. How did you attach this? This pinky is fake. It's just a decoration, Baiya explained. I'm sorry, Song Shiyu said again. Baiya shook her head. It's okay. My dear daughter-in-law, let's go out for breakfast. You must be hungry. Lingqing will be going out later and I have to go to the office. You might be bored here alone. If you want your friend to accompany you, let me know. I'll bring your friend over, Song Shiyu said warmly. Lu Shuang's face flashed in Baiya's mind. If Lu Shuang was here now, she would be a chatterbox. She would definitely not make the people around her feel bored and lonely. She wondered how Lu Shuang was doing now. Was he happy in another place? Xiao Nian, Song Shiyu shouted. Baiya came back to her senses and smiled. Thank you, Mom. I don't need it for now. I've been wanting to learn the things that I've learned in the past. I haven't used them for a long time and I'm afraid I'll forget them. Okay. Just let me know if you need anything. Okay. Baiya went out. Gu Lingqing was looking at his phone. I'll go to the office first. Don't forget to eat breakfast, Song Shiyu said. Okay, Baiya replied and sat next to Gu Lingqing. She tilted her head and leaned on Gu Lingqing's shoulder. Did you tell Mom your old name? Gu Lingqing asked. Chapter 464. After breakfast, it was already 10 o'clock. Gu Lingqing had gone out to run some errands. The old Chinese doctor felt her pulse and said that she didn't need to take any medicine. She could come out and walk around, but she couldn't do any strenuous exercise. She used to be an obstetrician and gynecologist, so she knew. She went back to her room and read some books on psychology. She closed her eyes and tried to understand each part, then recalled the cases she had done before. At noon, Mrs. Wong made a lot of delicious dishes. She wasn't picky and ate everything. She continued to read until she was sleepy and fell asleep. She was woken up by her phone ringing. She saw that it was Alan and sat up to answer it. "Alan, it's been a long time." She was happy to receive his call. "I used your ID information before, and now all the procedures are done. However, I need you to sign in person, and the money can be transferred to your account. Are you coming to England?" "No need. Go to the lawyer, or should I ask the lawyer and Grandpa Tang to go to your place?" Alan asked. "I'll go to the lawyer. It's rude to ask my grandpa to come to me. Also, I'll treat you guys to a meal." Baya laughed. "Then come to my house. The boat is a small place. You can't show your skills." "Your house." Baya smiled. "You bought a house in a city." "Yes, I think this city is not bad. If I want to stay here for a long time, I need a place to stay. So I bought a well-decorated house. I can move in directly at Qingshan Gardens. It's quiet here and the air is good. It's suitable for me to recuperate." Qingshan Gardens. "It's very close to where I live. I can drive there in about 10 minutes. Also, when did you buy it? Why didn't you contact me when you came to a city? Do you still think of me as a friend?" Baya was happy. She thought of Alan as a friend. "I haven't finished the procedures and I haven't bought the house yet. I was afraid that I would trouble you if I contacted you. Now that everything is done, it's good. I'll come now. Send me your location. I haven't seen you in a long time." Baya got up from the bed. "Okay. Ask Gu Lingqing to come with you. He won't feel at ease if you come alone. He might be jealous." Baya's heart warmed. "Okay." After hanging up, she called Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing hung up the phone and sent a text message over. "I'm in a meeting. Call me when you're done." Meeting? She guessed that if he wasn't in the company, he would be in the military. According to Gu Lingqing's personality, if it wasn't something very important, he wouldn't ignore her call. She didn't want to be unreasonable and send a text over. "Okay." When she went out, she received Alan's location on her phone. "Sister Wang, do you know where the car is parked?" "I need to go out for a while," Baya said politely. "She's going out." "Wait a moment." Sister Wang made a call. "Young madam is going out. Drive over." After Mrs. Wang hung up the phone, she said to Baya respectfully, "You're pregnant now, so you can't drive. Young master said that if you want a car, you can just call and someone will come to pick you up." Gu Lingqing was more meticulous than her. "Okay, thank you, Sister Wang. Young master asked you to wear an extra layer of clothing when you go out. Don't catch a cold," Sister Wang reminded her. "Okay." Baya wrapped another warm scarf around her and went out. She realized that it was snowing. Pieces of snowflakes floated down from the sky. She was in an exceptionally good mood. She walked out of the door and reached out to hold the snow. She took out her phone and took a photo of herself. It looked pretty good and she sent it to Gu Lingqing. She didn't know if it would affect him, so she didn't send it again. The car stopped in front of her. She had seen the driver before. He was an Ing, who had saved Zhou Hailan with her the last time. Baya showed him the location on her phone. The driver got it and drove out. Baya leaned against the window and looked at the snow outside with a smile. "The chief is back in the military today," the driver said. Baya could guess. She replied, "Okay." "I'm very happy," the driver said again. Baya looked at him and smiled. "That's good. The chief is finally back." The driver smiled honestly. "Yes, he's back." Baya understood them. After all, they were soldiers. They had the passion of soldiers. They knew that Gu Lingqing was leaving. They didn't say anything, but they must be sad and dispirited in their hearts. They must be very happy that Gu Lingqing was going to the military to continue being the chief. After a while, they arrived at Alan's place. Baya then remembered that she didn't bring a gift. It was her first time visiting someone else's house. Moreover, her grandpa would be coming over later. "Do you know where the nearest fruit shop is?" "Yes, it's not too far from here." "Are we going there now?" "Yes, we need to go there." Baya bought 2 baskets of fruit and a potted plant without pollen. She went to Alan's house. The one who opened the door was Alan. The heater was turned on and he was wearing home clothes. "It's good that you're here." Baya looked around his house. Alan had very high taste. The room was simple and elegant, and it was especially a noble temperament. Especially the classical music that was playing now. It added to the whole room. "Where's my grandpa?" "He went out to play. I think he'll be here when it's time for dinner. I've called the lawyer over. Just sign the papers after dinner. The lawyer will deal with it. The money will be transferred to your account in 3 days, Alan explained. He placed the potted plant beside the television. It matched the decoration of the room. It was very eye-catching. "Where's the kitchen?" "I'll cook," Baya asked. "Here." Alan pointed at the bar. Baya laughed. "Are you serious? You put the kitchen in the living room. There's another one in there. Follow me." Alan walked in front. Baya followed him to the kitchen. There were pots and pans. "It looks like he's going to be a boy." "I prepared it for my wife," Alan said honestly. "Ha ha ha ha, I'm dying of laughter. If your wife knew that you prepared this for her, she'd beat you up." Baya went in and opened the fridge. There were a lot of ingredients in it. "I like to eat at home. It feels warm," Alan explained. "Great minds think alike." "I think so too." Baya took out the chicken wings, cola, streaky pork, pigeon, steak, broccoli, tomatoes, potatoes, fries, green peppers, and beef. "It should be enough. Including Gu Lingqing, there are 6 of us." "6 of us?" "Me, you, Gu Lingqing, the lawyer, Grandpa Tang, and a Ling," Alan said. Chapter 465. She looked a little similar to Baya in the past. She was always worried. Alan could tell what Baya was thinking. "I have no choice. Even if I didn't bring her here this time, she would still come here secretly. Since that's the case, it's safer to keep her by my side." "Alan, have you ever thought about having a relationship with a Ling?" Baya asked tentatively. Washing chicken wings. A Ling's personality is still that of a child. "I don't really like little girls. I like mature ones. So, it's impossible with her. I only treat her as a younger sister," Alan explained. "Her personality is indeed a little like a little girl's. She likes handsome guys," Baya smiled. Alan smiled too. "When she sees Gu Lingqing later, she'll probably be disappointed because he's your man." Baya shrugged. "It'll be fine as long as no one finds out about my relationship with Grandpa." "Can you tell me why exactly?" Alan helped to wash the vegetables. I'm worried that if someone finds out that I'm Baya, it'll cause unnecessary trouble. So, I'm a little scared, Baya said ambiguously. You mean Sujiran? Baya had already guessed it. After all, they had met on the island. Baya did not hide it. She nodded. He's my ex-husband. We already have a lot of grudges. Now, we're on different paths and we're on opposite sides. Do you know? In the past, he injected a virus into me in order to possess me. I have to inject it once every 3 months. Otherwise, I'll bleed from all my orifices and die in pain. Him. Erin frowned. She looked at Baya with heartache. Sheni Yen saved me. I went through plastic surgery and changed my appearance. Do you want to see my old photo? Baya asked. Okay. Baya wiped her hands, opened her old QQ, and logged into her space. There were a few photos. She didn't like to take photos, so she showed Alan one. It was a photo of the two of them when she was a doctor and Lu Shuang had forced her to take it. Looking at the bright smile on Lu Shuang's face, her eyes darkened. At that time, Lu Shuang was a carefree, romantic, lively, and cheerful person. But now, Ah Ling is very similar to you at that time. She's about 60% similar. Alan glanced at Baya's present and then at the photo. Ah Ling is very similar to me. Su Jiran will definitely guess that I'm related to Ah Ling. He already suspected that I'm Baya. He already suspects that I'm Baya. If he knows that Ah Ling is my grandfather, he will definitely guess that I'm Baya. So, I can't let others know about my relationship with Mr. Tang. That way, even if Su Jiran knows that Baya is Mr. Tang's granddaughter, he won't know that it's me, Baya explained. I see. No wonder you're so guarded against Su Jiran. The vegetables are washed. What else do you need me to do? Alan changed the topic. No need. I can do it myself. Baya said. First, she stewed the pigeon in the health pot. The pigeon soup had to be stewed slowly to be nutritious. The streaky pork was cut into pieces to make braised pork. All the cola was poured into the braised pork. During the braised pork, the beef was divided into 2 pieces. One piece was cut into strips and placed on the side. Then, it was sprinkled with corn flour. The other piece was thinly sliced with corn flour and placed on the side. First, the broccoli was blanched. The color turned bright green. Then, it was taken out and mixed with the sauce. She began to make the chicken wings. After seasoning the chicken wings, she fried them in the frying pan. In the meantime, she cut the green peppers into slices. Then, she took out the beef tenderloin and stir-fried them together. The beef tenderloin with green peppers was ready. The last dish was a palace dish. She fried the sliced beef in oil. When it was almost cooked, she took it out and placed it on the side. She stir-fried the tomatoes until the sauce was made. Then, she added some water. She cut the potatoes into slices and put them in to stew until they were cooked. Then, she put in the stir-fried beef and fries. She didn't wait for too long. Otherwise, the beef would get old. She could turn it off when the soup was boiling. Just when the rice was ready and served on the table, Gu Lingqing called. Baya answered. Is the meeting over? Baya asked softly. Yes. Where are you? Gu Lingqing asked. She guessed that Gu Lingqing knew. His subordinates would definitely report to him. I'm at Alan's place. It's not far from my house. Are you coming over today? If I don't, what time will you be home? After dinner, probably around 8 o'clock. Then I'll come and pick you up. See you later. Gu Lingqing hung up. She could hear the slight displeasure in his voice. She didn't know if it was directed at her or at the military. I've already called Grandpa Tang. He'll be here in 10 minutes. Alan smiled. Looks like I cooked too fast. The food won't taste as good when it's cold. I'll heat it up later. Baiya smiled. Where's Gu Lingqing? Isn't he coming? Alan glanced at Baiya's phone. He should still be in the military. It's a bit far from here. I don't think he can make it for dinner. Military? Isn't he a businessman? Alan was surprised. He's a soldier, Baiya said proudly. Oh, I remember. I remember now, when we were on the island, he was very good at fighting, and his marksmanship was also very good. At that time, I thought he was defending himself, so it turns out that he's a soldier. Very good, hee hee. Alan said with a smile, I'll help you carry the dishes back. Okay. Thank you. Alan helped carry the dishes back. Baiya heard the knock on the door. She guessed that they were back, so she started to heat the dishes. Alan, let me tell you. The two handsome guys I met last time were the most handsome. I've been shopping for a whole day today and I haven't met anyone more handsome than them. Aling complained as soon as he came in. Then you're in luck today. One of them will come today. Alan said. He smiled and nodded at Mr. Tang. Where's Grandpa Tang? Where is she? Mr. Tang was referring to Baiya. In the kitchen. Baiya walked out of the kitchen and saw Mr. Tang. She nodded with a smile. Grandpa Tang. Mr. Tang was a little disappointed when he saw Baiya didn't call him Grandpa. Okay. Wait for 5 minutes. I'll heat all the dishes. Baiya said with a smile. She turned and went into the kitchen. Aling gave Alan a thumbs up. Your girlfriend is great. She even cooks. If it were me, I wouldn't know anything. Alan gave Aling a thumbs up. Do you think she's prettier or you? She is, but I'm not bad either. Aling was honest. Who has a better figure? You or her? Alan continued to ask. That depends on your taste. But according to normal aesthetic standards, she has a good figure. Aling said with a smile and gave him another thumbs up. You don't have to keep provoking me like this. You have a good taste, okay? She will come later. The handsome guy you like is her husband. Alan said the main point. Chapter 466. You're boosting other people's morale and belittling your own, Aling said in disdain. Alan smiled. No, I'm just trying to hit you and let you know who you are. Alan, why are you so annoying? Aling pursed her lips in annoyance. Don't you think I'm helping you? Whether I'm annoying or not, the facts are there. Think about how you're not as good as her in every aspect. She stole the man she likes. Don't you feel better now? Alan said in a good mood. I feel better. Anyway, nothing is better than the human world. That sister looks good, but you don't seem to be worse than that man. Maybe, you're even better. I didn't see you get the beauty. Aling retorted. Alan was speechless. You win. Alan turned around. Aling stuck out her tongue and jumped on Alan's back. She said coquettishly, I'm sorry, brother. I didn't mean it. You're so excellent. You'll definitely find someone better than her, right? Get down. You're still like a little monkey. I'm not angry. Alan said. Aling got down from Alan's back. She sighed and looked in the direction of the kitchen. I've been thinking about what kind of girlfriend you'll find. She's a good match for you. Alan smiled. I'll go in and serve the dishes. Little guy, you should wash your hands. Alan went to the kitchen. Baya had already heated up 3 dishes. I've already told Aling that you're Gu Lingqing's wife. Don't worry. She's already accepted it. She won't embarrass you. Thank you, Alan. She believed in his EQ. He could handle it well. Baya served the dishes on the table. The lawyer came over and they ate together. It's delicious. It's even better than what I cooked in the restaurant this afternoon. I really want to bring you to England. Aling praised. But where's your husband? Why isn't he here yet? He's a little far from here. He'll come later. Baya explained. Vaguely, she heard the sound of an airplane. She had a premonition. She put down her chopsticks and rushed out of the door. There was a small plane in the sky. With a flashing red light, it flew towards them. Because it was snowing, although it was night, it was still white. There seemed to be a person hanging under the plane. Wow, who's that? He's so cool. Aling exclaimed. Gu Lingqing quickly slid down the rope like an eagle. And landed perfectly. And took off his sunglasses. Baya was surprised to see him. She ran toward Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing hugged her and worriedly said, Don't run, what if you fall? Goodbye. Bye. Bye, it. I won't allow it in the future, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Baya looked at Gu Lingqing. He came in a hurry and had not changed his clothes. He was in a military uniform and looked masculine, like the sun in winter, giving people a warm feeling. Have you eaten? Baya asked. Gu Lingqing shook his head. Not yet. I'll get you some rice. Baya happily took his hand and hurried back. Ling squeezed Ellen's shoulder and whispered, He looks even more handsome this way. It's really 45 degrees without a dead angle. Let's go back and eat. Alan pushed Aling. Aling did not turn around and looked at Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing looked at Aling. He paused for a moment and looked at Baya. Baya smiled. I told you last time. We'll talk about it when we get back. Gu Lingqing remembered that she had mentioned it before. He looked at Elder Tang. Although his gaze was distant, he still nodded politely. Come and eat. We thought you would be late, so we ate first. Sorry about that, Mr. Tang said. It's okay. I was in a hurry to hang up and didn't make it clear, Gu Lingqing said politely. He followed Baya to the dining table. Baya scooped rice for Gu Lingqing and picked up a piece of braised pork. Gu Lingqing took a bite and looked at her. You made it. Yeah. Baya nodded with a smile. Gu Lingqing stopped talking and continued eating. Are you usually as cold as you are now? Aling asked. Gu Lingqing nodded and said nothing. You're so manly, Aling said. She was a passionate and straightforward girl. Baya thought of Lu Shuang and her eyes darkened. Gu Lingqing held her hand. He seemed to know what she was thinking. No news is good news, right? Baya nodded. Eat more. Try the chicken wings I made. Aling praised them just now. Gu Lingqing's expression softened. Everything you make is delicious. Aling wanted to take back what she said. She realized that when the man looked at his wife, his eyes were full of tenderness. After dinner, Baya signed the contract and sent a text to Mr. Tang. Thank you, Grandpa. Mr. Tang was in a good mood. He was grinning from ear to ear. Baya wanted to go for a walk. But she thought that Gu Lingqing must be tired today. She did not mention it and got into the car that came to pick them up. On the way, Gu Lingqing rubbed her hand. Are you tired today? Baya shook her head. I'm not tired. I don't use my brain. Hee hee. When we get home, put on a cloak. I'll walk with you. It's rare for it to snow. We won't be able to see it on the island, Gu Lingqing said gently. Will you be too tired? Bai Ye was worried about him. I slept for a long time in the morning. This amount has nothing to do with being tired. Bai Ye laughed. That's good. Hee 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 hee. I like it. Hee hee hee. Gu Lingqing saw that Bai Ye was happy, so he was in a good mood too. After they got back, Gu Lingqing put on a coat for Bai Ye. He held her hand and walked around the neighborhood. Did your work go well today? Bai Ye asked. Yes. They're all my old subordinates. With Ling Shuang around, of course it went well. I had a few meetings. Also, the bait has been set. We're just waiting for the fish to take the bait. What about the thing you asked me to do last time? Have you found the right person? I'm still checking the people. I'll give them to you when they're done. My dad couldn't do it for more than 30 years. We can't be too hasty. Otherwise, all our previous efforts will go to waste, Gu Lingqing said cautiously. I understand. Bai Ye smiled. She grabbed a handful of snow on the tree and threw it on Gu Lingqing. Then, she threw it on Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing looked at her calmly. Bai Ye wanted to quarrel with him. He was too calm. It made her seem childish. She rubbed her hands awkwardly. You want to play with the snow? Gu Lingqing asked. Bai Ye nodded. Do you remember how I taught you how to shoot? Let's compete to see who can hit the target. Gu Lingqing put on his hat and put Snowball on his head. He stood 10 meters away from her. I'm afraid of hitting your face, Bai Ye said worriedly. You're tuning into the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.